That is for my sisters trapped in religion. Wake up and free the babies. sa.neter speak the truth, he's on a mission. The house of consciousness, the final call. Will you Bible thumpers wake up, all just fall? The house of consciousness, the final call. Stop believing in fairy tales, especially Paul. I use the Bible like a lantern in the night, trying to wake up my sister. The house is closing in, it's a total mess. You ignore my wisdom, the ultimate test. Step inside the HOK, it's the toughest terrain, where the truth hits hard, the cuts bring pain. I try to wake you with the word in my hand, to get you to the truth, to help you understand. I gave you the scriptures, chapters and verse. I gave you the keys to break the curse. I gave you Torah to unlock with keys. Break the mental chains and be free. The final call. Yeah, will your Bible thumpers wake up, all just fall? The house of consciousness, the final call. Stop believing in fairy tales, especially Paul. They call you apostle like you a prophet of God, telling lies and fooling people can't be that hard. You're preaching from your tube, looking for a handout. I'm standing on family, trying to bring the truth out. Welcome to the HOK, where the truth resides. No more hiding in the pews where the dies. We speak against the Bible just to wake the inner sight. Come inside the HOK doors, we bring the light. The house of consciousness, the final call. Will your Bible thumpers wake up, all just fall? Stop believing in fairy tales, especially Paul. sa.neter, don't stop, wake the sisters up. Don't stop, wake the sister up. Don't stop, don't stop. sa.neter, don't stop, wake the sister up. Don't stop, wake the sisters up. Don't stop, don't stop.
This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Wake up and free the sisters. sa.neter on the mission. The house of consciousness is where you break the chain. Stop feeding the system that keeps you in pain, that keeps you enslaved. God of the Bible, sharpen the spikes, floods the whole earth just for views and likes. God say he is love, but he's a liar. The devil is the hitman from God, they make the fire. He write the commandments, Yahweh, and breaks everyone. Demanding a parcel, the life of his only son, Jesus. Damn, look at Job, tells Ariad stripped to the bones. A bet with the devil for a God on a throne. What? God hardened Pharaoh's heart just to flaunt his might, and slaughtered every firstborn in the dead of the night. This is for my brother trapped in religion. Time to wake up and sharpen your vision. This is for my brother trapped in religion. Break free and free the sisters. sa.neter on a mission. sa.neter on a mission. Divine prospect, you the Nazarite. Into the Bible, look at the text. God is the author of the trauma, Hebrew Israelites. The dealer of the hand, spreading plagues in the grapes all across the promised land. Isaiah 45:7, read the ink. He created good and evil. Yeah. And some Israelites I met, I lie all the time. This is for my brother. This is for my brother. Trapped in religion. Trapped in religion. Time to wake up. Sharpen your vision. This is for my brother. Trapped in religion. Break free and free the sisters. sa.neter on the mission. sa.neter on the mission.
Yeah. Can't make one for the sisters. Me and the brothers out. Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another sa.neter TV House of Consciousness production. You already know what it is, man. I got one of the top scientists in the building. He go by the name of Cedrick Ortega. And I guess this is a response from Chief X. You know? Chief X. And so you already know when you bring in Cedrick, he's going to come in at you with the science. He's going to back it up with proof and evidence, so y'all don't have to say where your source is at. That's automatic with Cedrick. So without any further ado, I bring to you our brother Cedrick. Man, talk to me, Cedrick. What's happening?
Peace. I'm just putting this presentation together in response to Chief X presentation.
Right, I know it. Yep.
It was fallacy laden, poor methodology, emotionally charged, cherry picking, and just fallacious information, the way he brought the information to the platform. So that's a classic example of mixing some truth with a lot of fiction. The way he did his presentation, he tried to create the illusion of a continuous racial bias, and that was just the poorest level of scholarship. And this response is warranted because no, you never moved the goalposts. You never changed the conversation with regards to the pseudo killers, Chief X. You never did that, right? We were always, right, putting this conversation in its proper context, right? And you forced us to be in the middle of your Europeanized, outdated scholarship versus the Blackology, right? So you never moved or taught the pseudo killers anything. And now I'm going to teach you how to accurately assess a historical fact without your confirmation bias and your evident self-hate. It was obvious yesterday with the black, and they enslaved the blacks and this racial tension that is boiling up inside of you, Chief X. If you were a little bit more academic, a little bit more scientifically literate, you would get away from having that emotional baggage and using black with that negative connotation. And terms like negroid and caucasoid in modern day scholarship is regressive, to say the least. And that's why I put this presentation together, just to approach this thing chronologically and slow down on certain areas. You run over the Basque Treaty and you treat the Basque Treaty as if it's equal to paying tribute. These are two different concepts, and when you conflate the two, you're undermining what history is, what the Nubians meant and stood for in history, right? So you undermining, you run over things, and cherry picking. It's just overall poor scholarship. And you caught him out there early. You caught him out there early, sir. You said, hold up. This is Egyptians. This doesn't line up with your title. So that was a complete conflation. You caught him out early. Shout out to the bomb squad. They cooked. They completely.
Hey, let me know when you're ready, so I can show your presentation.
When you're ready, just share my screen.
All right, screen is sharing.
All right.
Ready for your poll of the day.
Let's get into this. The phenotype myth: how modern racial thinking distorts Nile Valley history. Let's go. Introduction. clarifying the scope and avoiding false equivalence. Before addressing this claim, it is essential to clarify that this presentation is not arguing, so we don't get this fallacious claim that somehow I'm arguing Black Egypt. No, at no point am I asserting a West and or Central African origins or genetic connection to ancient Egypt. This position is not under discussion. It is not required to evaluate the historical claim being examined here. Let's make that clear. The argument we are addressing is a reactive claim, often deployed in response to assertions made by the so-called Black Egypt or Afrocentric absolutist narrative. Specifically, the claim suggests that Arabs enslaved Nubians and Cushites due to phenotype. The claim what is being made is that Nubians and Cushites were enslaved because they were Black, Negroid, while allegedly refraining from enslaving Egyptians because they were genetically or phenotypically the same. This is what Chief X is attempting to establish with his assertions. This presentation does not attempt to validate or refute modern racialized claims about Egyptian identity. Instead, it examines whether the historical explanation being offered actually holds up when tested against evidence. What follows is not a defense of modern identity narrative over one modern identity narrative over another, but a demonstration that the phenotype-based explanation is historically incoherent, and it fails regardless of whether one places Egyptian on a modern racial spectrum. In other words, even if one rejects all Afrocentric claims outright, the argument still collapses under historical scrutiny. Chief X presents his arguments as a corrective to Afrocentric claims that asserts that a direct West or Central African lineage to ancient Egypt. On its face, it appears to be a legitimate historiographical intervention. However, the manner in which the rebuttal is constructed reveals a deep methodological problem. Rather than simply rejecting unsupported Afrocentric claims on evidentiary ground, Chief X introduces new, equally unsupported narratives to fill the explanatory gap. These narratives are not derived from primary sources or established scholarship, but from selective framing, linguistic distortion, and anachronistic racial assumptions. The problem of academic disingenuousness. Academic integrity requires that opposing claims be rejected on evidentiary grounds. Alternative explanations meet the same scholarly standard. Chief X failed the test by critiquing Afrocentric claims for lack of evidence, while advancing claims that rely on modern racial semantics and unsupported equivalences. This is not rigorous skepticism. This is asymmetric scrutiny. You're accusing us or them of being false, Afrocentric, distorting information while doing the exact same. For the record, academic consensus on the population of Egypt. For the record, the academic consensus is clear. Ancient Egypt was not a monolithic population. There has never been one in the history of mankind, either genetically or phenotypically. Egypt consists of 42 administrative nomes distributed along the Nile Valley, a geographic corridor stretching over 1,000 kilometers, a distance comparable to 1.5 times the width of the modern United States, from New York to California and halfway back. Do you expect there to be one singular phenotype of people? Ever. The long, narrow ravine system functions as a biological and cultural conduit, facilitating continuous population movement and admixture over millennia. As a result, there is no singular phenotype, no single phenotype. Again, no single phenotype. no uniform skin color, and no singular genetic profile that defines the ancient Egyptians. Anytime someone pulls up genetics to identify the ancient Egyptians, it's flawed scholarship. Population studies, bioarchaeology, and historical records all demonstrate that Egyptians exhibited a wide range of physical appearances, varying degrees of admixture with neighboring regions, including the Levant, Nubia, the Sahara, and the Mediterranean. Regional variations between Upper and Lower Egypt. For the record, again, let's make this clear. Ancient Egypt's identity was cultural, linguistic, and political, not racial in the modern sense. Attempting to impose a single racial or genetic category onto the population reflects modern anachronism, not ancient realities. In short, ancient Egypt was a heterogeneous Nile Valley civilization shaped by geography, migration, and long-term interactions, not rigid racial boundaries. Do you see the length of the Nile? Lower Egypt, Upper Egypt. This is over 1,000 kilometers. This is the distance from New York to California and back. Do you expect there to be one singular phenotype? The Fayum Oasis compared to Thebes. Do you expect there to be one singular phenotype of people? Do you expect there to be one singular anything? While we're having this conversation, we forget that Egypt represents an empire, a collection of states. It is not a singular entity. It is not your neighborhood village across the street. The claim, let's deal with it. Arabs didn't enslave Egyptians or North Africans because they were genetically the same. They enslaved Cushites and Nubians because of phenotype. Now, I'm reframing the claim because I'm addressing his question. He was begging the question. In essence, this is what he was insinuating. They didn't enslave Egyptians, no North Africans. That was stated clearly. They enslaved the Nubians and did the bait and switch, taking us back into ancient times while talking about the Arabs. This argument rests on three hidden assumptions. Slavery followed racial phenotype. Black, the black, the black, the black, the black. Oh boy, it was annoying. Egyptians, North Africans were treated as a single protected Arab-like group. This was what he was insinuating. A continuity, right, between these people based on phenotype. Nubians, Cushites were uniquely targeted because of biology. The black ones. They got the black ones. Again, West Central African slave trade, the Europeans referring to the Negros is what he is placing in this context. These are not terms that are used in this part of history and with these particular groups of people. All three are historically false. Arabs did enslave Egyptians and North Africans. Let's make it clear. Let's kill the claim at the root. Egyptians were enslaved. After the Arab conquest of Egypt in the 7th century, slavery existed internally. Mind you, this is a critical point. Internally. Egyptians were enslaved via war, via debt, and taken as concubines. So you see that invasion, there was a distinction between the Arabs and the Egyptians. They enslaved the Egyptians. Mamluks, slave warriors in Egypt included Egyptians, North African, Turks, Assyrians, and Slavs. The picture you can see the different groups of people that formed the Manuk, the Mamluks, the slave army, which was part of the caliphate. Do they look only North? Do they all look like Nubians? Arabs did enslave Egyptians and North Africans. These are some more of the enslaved people from the Arabs. Slavery was not racially exclusive. North Africans were also enslaved. Berbers were enslaved by Arabs. Berbers also enslaved other Berbers. The Mediterranean slave trade included the Maghreb, the Andalusians, Europeans, especially Slav. The word Slav comes from this. The word slave comes from Slav. Slav is all the way up in the Slavic area by Bulgaria, Russia, Yugoslavia, these areas. This was to where this the Arab the Muslim caliphate stretched. Phenotype clearly wasn't a barrier. So again, wasn't just black, negroids to be all these outdated terms built on a flawed premise. Right there, your two main premises are out of the window. Slavery was a central institution across the Muslim world. Right in the picture, you can see the Arabian states, and these are the slave corridors, the trade routes that they had via Egypt into Ethiopia, etc., all the way over into the Maghreb, all the way over into the Ghanaian Empire. Historical scholars agree that slavery was an established part of society and economy throughout the medieval Islamic world, including North Africa and Egypt. Slavery was not limited to one region or specific group. It spanned Persia, North Africa, Middle East, and beyond. Slaves were served in military, domestic, agricultural, administrative, and other roles across the Muslim world. Egyptians were enslaved, especially after conquest. During the Rashidun Caliphate conquest of Egypt, the 7th century, provinces such as the Fayum were taken by force. You saw the Fayum up there by the Delta was taken by force, as a significant part of the population were enslaved. After capturing parts of Egypt, populations, including civilians, were enslaved as part of war booty, a historically documented practice during early Islamic conquest. The conquest of Egypt was accompanied by the traditional pattern of enslaving captives as part of military campaign and redistribution of war captives. This directly contradicts that claim that Egyptians were not enslaved. So why would Chief X get up here and says he has sources and fail to address this aspect, the cherry picking, the selective approach to history, because he has an agenda? North Africans, including Berbers, were enslaved. Historical sources document that Berber populations were enslaved during and after Arab expansion into North Africa. Again, this is basic wiki search. You get this information. Basic wiki search. During the Arab conquest of North Africa in the 7th century, Berbers were captured and enslaved, including women and children, and large numbers were carried off as slaves. Arab generals like Nafi are recorded to have enslaved large numbers of Berbers in Africa during campaigns in the Maghreb. Isn't that North Africa? In this work here from the Maghreb, one of the earliest conquest chronicles, Nafi is described as conducting repeated raids deep into Berber territories, capturing large number of Berber women and children, sending captives east as slaves and concubines. This text is blunt. Captives were treated in the Gamini, war booty under early Islamic law. This contradicts the notion that North Africans were exempt from enslavement. So again, where did Chief X get this particular narrative from? And I'm specifically focusing on the 7th century and beyond. Slavery included non-Muslim war captives across regions. Under Islamic law, as interpreted historically, non-Muslim war captives could be enslaved. This practice applied broadly new territories, when new territories were conquered, whether in Egypt, North Africa, Persia, or elsewhere, captives who did not convert to Islam were enslaved as part of military outcome. We've heard it on this platform so many times. Shout out to Morpheus. You got to lay down or get down. This extended the institution of slavery broadly, not only to specific ethnic groups, and was tied to power and conquest rather than phenotypes. How can you get a Muslim imams, rulers, and leaders in West Central Africa, right? The Mali Empire, these were all Africans that were powerful leaders, Muslim leaders, Arabized, but Muslim leaders, if it was a phenotype issue. This racializing of history is ridiculous. Quranic foundation, the primary text, Quran 47, verse 4. So when you meet those who disbelieve in battle, strike the necks until when you have subdued them, then bind firmly the bonds, then either set them free as a favor or ransom them until war lays down its burdens. Slave markets included the first origin. Scholarly records include papyrus evidence from Egypt, was written in the papyrus, show that slave markets in Egypt and other Islamic regions traded slaves from many regions. Egyptian slave markets in the 9th and 10th century, so now they've established a hold in Egypt for a couple hundred years. We are now in the 9th and 10th century, bought and sold slaves imported from abroad, including Africans, Europeans, and people from across the Islamic world. The Islamic world stretched all the way up into Yugoslavian area there, up by Russia, showing that the slave population was multi-regional, not limited to one demographic. So why was Chief X up here insinuating that Jabari needs to respond to a false claim, one not grounded in reality and non-factual? Bernard Lewis, Race and Slavery in Middle Eastern, Oxford University Press, explicitly outlined the legal source by which slavery could arise once the general prohibition on enslaving free persons was in place. Since all human beings were naturally free, slavery could only arise from two circumstances: one, being born to slave parents, or being captured in war. The latter was soon restricted to infidels captured in the jihad. It doesn't say anything here about being a specific race now, does it? Classic Islamic law permits the enslavement of non-Muslim war captives. Does non-Muslim mean black or Negroid or Nubian or Sudanese? Does it mean any of these? To determine factors were legal status and warfare, not race or phenotype. Islamic slavery did not follow a simple racial rule. While aspects of racial ideas influenced attitude, for example, in later centuries, some equated blackness to servitude, the actual practice of slavery was not governed by modern concepts of race or strict phenotype categories. Islamic legal traditions focus on religion and warfare rather than genetics when determining enslavement eligibility. To make it about race is just like, come on. Slaves were acquired from Europe, Central Asia, Africa, the Byzantine world, indicating that many groups were enslaved regardless of skin color or phenotype. Factual refutation of the false premise. The claim that Arabs didn't enslave Egyptians or North African is not supported by historical evidence. On the contrary, Chief X, Egyptians were enslaved during and after conquest and in market context, sold as a product. North African, including Berbers, were enslaved during Arab expansion. They formed the basis of the caliphate that later went into Spain, right? The Moorish Caliphate was predominantly Berbers. Not all of these people were converts. Most of them were enslaved. The Islamic world slave system included many different populations. Therefore, the premise that Egyptians and North Africans were exempt from enslavement is false. And any argument based on this premise is logically and historically invalid. So now, why Nubians and Kushites appear more often in the record? Geography. This is where people confuse frequency with cause. Another logical fallacy. Geography matters more than genetics. Nubia and Kush were directly south of Egypt. See it on the map right here. You have the Red Sea. You have Arabia on the other side. You have Egypt conquered. And who is north of them? Mind you, Egypt was at this point conquered. Kush, Nubia, directly south of Egypt. It's accessible via the Nile. Located on slave trade routes linking sub-Saharan Africa to the Mediterranean. This is why they were caught in the crossfire. Egypt wasn't just a country, it was a transit hub. Again, you can see the trade routes right here on the map, going back and forth, and how it expanded, all coming out of Egypt. And what is directly south of this? Nubia and Kush. So Nubians show up more often because they lived along a major trade corridor. They were exposed to raiding states. If you have an Arab conquest of Egypt, they are your enemy. You are going to be raided. You are going to be attacked. They were caught in an intermediary system, not racial targeting. So who were the Nubians and the Makuria? In this early 7th century, the region south of Egypt was dominated by Christian Nubian kingdom, especially Makuria, centered at Dongola, along with Nobitaya and Alodia. Makuria was a sovereign, organized kingdom with its own political and military structures long before Arab expansion reached Egypt. Now, in my brother's presentation, he ran over this and did as if this was an insignificant point, just to emphasize his misinterpretation or his disingenuous argumentation. According to historian al-Balatahuri, the Muslim found that the Nubians fought strongly and met them with showers of arrows. The majority of Arab forces returned with wounded and blinded eye. It was thus that the Nubians were called the pupil smiters. Shout out to Asher Assar from the bomb squad. He brought this point so clear. Arab expansion and Nubian resistance. So now, after the conquest of Egypt, Egypt was conquered by the Arab Muslim forces. Two military expeditions were launched against Nubia. They went down there twice. The first Battle of Dongola, 642 CE. Arab forces under command of Nafi and Al-As attempted to subdue Nubian territory. The Nubians, especially the archers, inflicted heavy losses. Arab troops suffered significant casualties, including many wounded or blinded by accurate Nubian arrow fire. Magi archers, a detail attested to in later Arabic historical writings. The second battle, the siege of Dongola, this was done now, they took a year. They went down prepared. A larger Arab army led by that dude again tried to take Dongola. The Moroccan defenders held firm, using fortified position and mobile archers. This campaign also failed to secure conquest. Slow it down the conversation. You failed to secure conquest. You tried to conquer and you failed. We beat you, we put you back. What are we going to do? This engagement showed that Nubian forces were not easily pushed aside. The pupil smiting accuracy of their archers and effective defense prevented the Arabs from conquering the regions. So these people you are trying to make seem inferior put blows on the Arabs and kept their backsides in Egypt. This led to what became the Pass Treaty. and you tried the way you treated this treaty and the Nubians, the disrespect. Now, again, I'm West Side, I'm West Central African. I do not assume any genetic connection to the Nubians. However, I appreciate the different phenotypes on the African continent. You're making the conclusion that their dark skin made them inferior. Do you look in the mirror, my brother? Are you inferior to anything or anybody? Is this what it's about? People often cite the Basque Treaty 7th century agreement between Egypt and Nubia as proof Nubians were enslaved because they were black. Wrong, wrong, pseudo alert, beep, beep, beep. What the Basque actually was, a political treaty. Do you understand what a political treaty means? The U.S. invades a country, Vietnam, can't beat them, and they reach to an agreement, a ceasefire, they develop a treaty. Is that a racial doctrine? Nubians sent annual tributes, including enslaved people. We'll get into all of this. But Egypt sent grain, textile, and good. That's called trade. Nubia remained independent for 600 years. Now, slow that conversation down. I'm independent. We developed trade based on the fact that you could not conquer me. We have established trade. We have an agreement, and this agreement lasts 600 years. And you want to sit up here and give the impression that the Nubians were somehow inferior? That is utterly poor scholarship. Let alone just self-hate based on their phenotype. You assume inferiority. This is state-level diplomacy, not racial slavery. Why phenotype argument completely fails? What the Basque Treaty actually was. The Basque Treaty was concluded in the mid-7th century, circa 652 CE, between the Rashidun Umayyad-controlled administration in Egypt and the Christian Nubian kingdom of Makuria. It followed failed Arab military campaign against Nubia. Failed. Key points. This treaty emerged because Nubia successfully resisted conquest, not because of racial hierarchy. Why would you say such a dumb thing? Sources right there. The Basque was a political and economic agreement, not a racial doctrine. Under the Basque, Nubia agreed to send annual tribute, which included enslaved individuals, livestock, and other goods. Egyptians agreed to send grain, textile, and manufactured goods. Both sides agreed to non-aggression, free movement of traders, mutual diplomatic recognition. Mutual. Yet Chief X is up here trying to create the narrative as if the Nubians were somehow inferior. This arrangement resembles Byzantine, Persian, and African tributary systems, not racial slavery. It was the modus operandi of the time. These were the type of agreements that were made at the time at high political level, not subservient or subdued. To make that argument is ridiculous. Crucial detail. The enslaved people were sent to the Basque, sent under the Basque were war captives. Again, to create the illusion that the Nubian region was one happy family. No, you had different empires, you had different rulers, and they had their internal conflicts. Criminals and tribute laborers, not Nubians enslaved in mass by Arab racial policy. At no point do you see the same incursion and localized endemic slavery as you see in Egypt by the same Arabs. Mind you, in Egypt, we see endemic slavery, and at no point in time do we see any type of endemic slavery happening in Nubia. But this is the claim that the man was trying to make. Poor scholarship. Nubia remained independent for 600 years. This is the final and fatal blow. If the Basques were under racial enslavement, Nubia would have been colonized. Nubians would have been enslaved internally. Arab rule would have replaced Nubian sovereignty. 600 years, no Arab rule, Nubian sovereignty. None of that happened. Makuria retained its kings. Nubia remained independent for 600 years. It retained Christianity, retained its language and culture, negotiated on equal polity. They were equal politically to the whole Egyptian Arab Caliphate. They were equal as negotiators. So how do you frame this as subservient, lesser, and sending slaves? They sent slaves. The Basque lasted until the 13th century, making it one of the longest lasting treaties in medieval history. You do not maintain a 6th century treaty with people who you view as biologically enslavable. Poor scholarship. Tribute does not equal racial enslavement. Tributary systems involving enslaved persons existed across the Byzantine, Islamic Caliphate, African Kingdom, Chinese empires. So Chinese were enslaving Chinese was racial because they were black. Slavic slaves were sent to the Islamic states. Turkic slaves were sent to the Abbasid courts. European captives were sent to North Africa. None of these were justified by phenotype, skin color, or anything else other than conquest and warfare, politics. The phenotype test, why the claim collapses instantly. If the Basque reflected racial slavery, we would expect consistent outcomes. Ethiopians, majority Christian, phenotypically similar or darker, not uniformly enslaved, maintained independent states and diplomacy. Let's continue. Darker Arabs, Yemenis, Omanim, and Southern Arabs, they're all dark, never racially enslaved by other Arabs. Why? Because they were Arabized. They were Muslims. Light-skinned Europeans, Greeks, Slav, Italians, Sicarians, heavily enslaved across the Islamic markets. Oh boy, Chief X, I think we caught you out here selling lies. Often preferred for elite military roles, as the Mamluks, as we saw in the in the opening. The Islamic army, Greeks, Slav, Italians, Berbers, they were preferred. This destroys phenotype as a causal variable. It doesn't add into the equation. You cannot use this as a variable. And what you're doing is making it the key and central aspect of your theme, starting with a false premise. Don't forget that. The final scholarly verdict, the Basque Treaty, was a state-to-state diplomacy. Emerged from military stalemate. You could not conquer these people. How do you assume them inferior when you need to reach a stalemate with them based on their military powers? Emerged from a military statement, involved reciprocal exchange. The brothers explained, you even Reggie read texts where the Egyptians were complaining that they did not receive the necessary head, and the Nubian state declared, you didn't fulfill your end of the bargain, so hey, it's a deal. Preserved Nubian sovereignty for centuries. Using it as evidence of phenotype-based enslavement is historically illiterate, logically incoherent, and anachronistic. Oh, went a little bit fast. The Basque does not support racial slavery. It refutes it. Mutual diplomacy, not a simple subjugation. contrary to simplified claims that the Nubians were merely a subsidiary vassal sending 360 slaves a year as tribute. That's all it was. The boss meant that the Nubians had to send 360 slaves a year. And what does that mean? Prisoners of war, criminals, skilled laborers. And it's based on a mutual agreement. The Basque was a bilateral diplomatic and trade pact. While some medieval accounts record Macuria's obligation to deliver up to about 360 slaves annually, modern scholarship emphasizes that this must be understood in context. Everything must be taken in context. If you actually read a little bit of history, you would put these things in its right context and stop making these emotional outbursts on the platform where you got refuted in 10 minutes after you were done. But I'm just putting this chronologically so people can go back to it. The term Basque itself derived from a word meaning pact or barter. So if I'm bartering or I have a pact with you, we are on equal footing. And at least some early sources describe Egypt's reciprocity with foodstuffs, textiles, and other goods in exchange, putting the parties on relatively equal footing. Let that sink in, and then go back to the claims Chief X will make. How you really, come on. Now, the genetic argument. They looked and say, all that nonsense, what he was trying to make, right? Trying to make the Egyptians a monolith with one particular phenotype and going to, this is all poor scholarship. You don't understand genetics. Modern population genetics show Egyptians overlap genetically with Nubians, Horn Africans, and Levantines. Slow down. With Nubians, Horn Africans, and Levantines. And we know the genetic component of Levantines. We understand the Horn of Africa, that genetic component. And we understand the Nubians. Nubia and Egypt had intermarried, shared elites, shared religious practices. This man tried to paint a picture as if all the Nubians, and the only thing the Nubians meant to the Egyptians was subservience, subdued, and all this riffraff. He gets some more into it. Now you're seeing how his whole argument, his whole diatribe is falling apart. There is no clean genetic boundary that maps onto slavery patterns. Chief X, get out of your racist bag. Get out of your self-hate diatribe. Embrace history for what it is. Mind you, go back to the beginning of this. You are not going to place any Afrocentrism here on this presentation or in my ballpark. You have not seen any words which indicates race or none of that here, because that's not how actual scholarship is done. The claim assumes the modern racial categories existed in the medieval world. The irony is you are fighting against Black Egypt with everything you got. But them Black folk, the Nubian, them Black folk. So now let's go back up here. Egyptians overlap genetically with Nubians, Horn Africans, and Levantines. Are you applying the one drop rule too, since you're doing the racial thing? You see how you put your foot in your own mouth. You create the pushback by the dumb things you say. They didn't. It's just that simple. Let's continue. Critical analysis of Chief X's framing and methodology. Now let's get into it. During the presentation, Chief X began by correctly outlining the Arab invasion of Egypt and its general historical timeline. However, after establishing this factual groundwork, the argument shifted from a historical description to interpretive overreach. He proceeded to describe the historical relationship between Egypt and Nubia as one defined exclusively by subjugation and oppression, omitting well-documented periods of political alliance, intermarriage, shared religious institutions, Nubian dynastic rule over Egypt, the 25th century. This selective framing presents a distorted bilateral relationship rather than the complex reciprocal interaction recognized in mainstream Egyptology and Nubian studies. Shout out to the God Killer. He just did a presentation outlining this specific point. So again, you start by speaking about the Arabs, you underplay what the Bass Treaty is, and then you segue to the point sa.neter called you out on the Egyptian subjugation of the Nubians, and you take snapshots, cherry pick to create the illusion as if this is the totality of the relationship, while Nubians, because Egypt didn't have a standing army, would often employ the Magi archers to do a lot of their military campaigning, illustrating relationships. So this oversimplification, I guess, is the extent of your ability to actually do genuine scholarship. Linguistics misinterpretation, the noob, black. You heard it. I was like, well, since when did the noob mean black? So the Kemet can't mean black. Mine, I'm not making that claim. But you go over here and say Kemet can't mean black, can't use black because nobody identifies itself as black, yet turn around and say noob means black. A central flaw in Chief X's argument is the treatment of the Egyptian term noob, actually rendered noob or nehesi as a racial distinction equivalent to black. This is a linguistically and historically incorrect. Noob refers to gold or the gold-bearing region, not skin color. Egyptian ethnoisms, why geographic and political, not racial in the modern sense. There is no evidence that ancient Egyptians used phenotype-based racial categories comparable to modern constructs of blackness. So how can you be arguing against Black Egypt while constructing the same racial equivalent claims over here? This is ludicrousy. By equating new with black, the argument retroactively imposing modern racial semantics onto the ancient language that did not encode identity that way. This is a classic case of semantic anachronism. We keep bringing this forth over and over. Modern racial definition on ancient populations before the 1600s, where racial connotation to skin color was established, is anachronistic. You cannot apply it. While fighting Black Egypt, you are doing the same thing. Ain't the kettle calling the pot black here? The false racialization of Egyptian-Nubian relations. Chief X's argument further suggests that Egyptian views Nubians as a racially distinct group whose primary role was to be oppressed. This claim is unsubstantiated. He kept drawing that picture. Look, got them a chains on the neck, and they're bowing down to the Caucasian. Oh, Nubians served as soldiers, administrators, priests, and kings within Egypt. Again, the 25th dynasty ruled Egypt as legitimate pharaohs. Egyptian iconography depicts Nubians in multiple social roles, not as a racial underclass, which Chief X attempted to do. Opposition and conflict between Egypt and Nubia occurred, but so did conflict within Egypt itself, as Brother Reggie often points out. The fall and the collapse of these dynasties, the internal conflict. Political rivalry does not equate to racial ideology. We need to cut it out. Grow up, stop it. The question is, why? The strategic illusion being created. The cumulative effect of these moves is to construct the illusion of equivalence. Egyptians are framed as racially aligned with Arabs. You see, that is what he wants to do. So attempting to fight the Black Egypt conversation, he is racially framing an alliance between Egyptians and Arabs. When you ask Egyptians today if they are Arabs, they'll tell you, no, we are Muslims, but we're Egyptians. Nubians are framed as racially other and perpetually enslaved. Arab enslavement of Nubians is reframed as a continuation of an ancient Egyptian racial overview. This is what the disingenuousness is. And we all caught it. Sa.neter was the first one to call him out on it. Arab enslavement of Nubians is reframed as a continuation of ancient Egyptian racial worldview, which they did not have. Starts by framing the Arab conquest, speaks about the Bach Treaty, just for a second, flies over it, misinterprets what it represents, and then goes into his diatribe about how they bringing the slaves to the Caucasian. He's a Caucasian. This is not supported by evidence. This is a retrofit narrative designed to stabilize a modern identity claim rather than explain the past. So you become the thing you despise the most. What was so funny, you refer to yourself as God best, and your first response to the pushback from the bomb squad is the fact that they have Egyptian iconography in their names. That was wild. But anyway, the missing chronology. Egypt was no longer an indigenous state. Shout out, Brother Reggie. One of the most critical omission in Chief X's presentation is chronology. By the time the Arab invasion of the 7th century CE, Egypt had not been governed by an indigenous dynastic system for nearly a millennia. For almost 1,000 years, there was no longer indigenous dynastic system. By this time, political control had passed to the Persians, Romans, and the Byzantine.
You watching it?
Yeah. Can I continue? The administrative, military, and social structures encountered by the Arabs were Byzantine, not Pharaonic. Let that sink in. You had the Byzantine Empire was in charge of Egypt at the time that the Arabs invaded. There was no longer Pharaonic rule. Let the chronology be clear. Therefore, claims about what Egyptians believe must you must specify which Egyptians under which regime, projecting old kingdom or new kingdom identity frameworks onto late antiquity Egypt is historically invalid. These statements have been made before. I think it's necessary to put it in context, slow the conversation down, because this happens far too often. Chief X is guilty of the same. Core analytical failures. The argument fails because it conflates geography with race. So your initial premise just completely falls apart. Language with modern racial semantics. Political conflicts with racial ideology. Ancient Egypt with late Byzantine Egypt. Most critically, it collapses centuries of political transformation into a single imagined racial continuity which simply did not exist. So again, it's not about Black Egypt or not. I'm not down with any of that. This is just utterly poor scholarship. False premise fallacy. This argument rests on the demonstrably false premise. Arabs did not enslave Egyptians or North Africans. False. This is factually untrue. The Egyptians were enslaved by war, debt, and penal servitude. North Africans, including Berbers, were enslaved as well. Arab on Arab enslavement occurred under specific conditions. The argument built on a false premise is invalid regardless of its conclusion. Now we're dealing with the fallacies here. False cause, post hoc, and of course, oversimplified causation. The claim assumed because Nubians appear frequently in slave records, phenotype must be the cause. They black. The Negroids, you can see here the Negroids. No, this confuses correlation with causation. Classic thinking fallacies. To mind way. Actual causal factors. Geography, the Nile corridor. You have the Arabs invading Egypt up north. They form their bases from which they are now using the Nile to do what? Cut off trade routes, enslave people, raid. This is what they're doing, attacking Nubia, which they could not successfully do. Political subjugation. Tributary system, for example, the Bak. Now, he's going to make the claim, I said tributary system. And you look, tributary system, which includes treaties. Treaties do not necessarily mean you're subservient to, because, of course, we have established that the Arabs couldn't touch the Nubians. Trade demands and access. You cut off the routes, right? And you do all this. Mind you, in this time in history, manpower, slaves was the economy. That was the way your industry operated. So this was a part of the life. Slavery was going to happen, raids, this type of thing, because human capital was, at the end of the day, the way your industry flourished. The presence of a group in records does not explain why they appear there. Anachronism, presentism. Now, I've said this word so often, let's define it academically. An anachronism occurs when concepts from one historical context are incorrectly applied to another, especially when modern frameworks are imposed on ancient or medieval societies. The argument projects modern racial categories backwards onto medieval world. We keep saying, don't do it. Don't call them black. Don't use these terms. It's anachronistic. Black, Arab, and North African are modern constructs. Medieval societies categorize people by their religion. The language, we keep saying it. What made you an Egyptian? The language, the religion, polity, like your political alliance, your political systems, and your legal status. Slave or free person. These were the two statuses you had in the whole world, unless you were part of the upper class, and even within the priestly class, you had slaves. Every class had its slaves. Applying modern race theory to pre-modern societies is a classic historical fallacy. Genetic essentialism. The claim assumes Egyptians were genetically the same. Nubians were genetically distinct. These distinctions determine enslavement. From your genetic argument to your phenotype argument, all falls apart. These distinctions determine enslavement. This is scientifically incoherent. No genetic boundaries exist between Egypt and Nubia. I'll keep saying it. Is there an electric fence? Is there somehow electric fence which prevents the interaction, the intermarriage, the working, the moving back and forth of people and goods? When people are trading, what do you think they're doing? So only the Egyptians could go and by the electric fence they would pass things through and back and forth? Is that what's taking place? Continuous gene flow existed for millennia. Genetic plays no role in medieval legal or social classifications. This is biological determinism masquerading as history. Selection bias, the cherry picking was clear as day. This man forgot about Slavs. This man forgot about the Italians. This man forgot about the completely eliminated Egyptians themselves when there was internal slavery. Slave markets were in Egypt. North Africans, he forgot all about those and said the Cushites and the Nubians because they had a Bas treaty. when the Bast Treaty actually indicates their sovereignty. Go figure. While ignoring Slavs, Greeks, Turks, Caesarians, Berbers, and Persians. If phenotype were causal, non-Africans would not dominate many slave markets, Chief X. Light-skinned slaves would be an anomaly, but they were not. The majority of the slaves, especially from the Arabs, a lot of them in the early days, came from their European markets, all the way up into Slovenia, Yugoslavia. Selective evidence is not an explanation, Chief X. It just exposes your bias. Non sequitur, even if we grant for the sake of argument, that the Egyptians were genetically similar to the Arabs, right? The whole Egyptian population and the whole Arabian population, excluding the Yemenis and the Omanis and all the darker skinned Arabs, let's exclude all of them, it still does not follow that the phenotype determined enslavement. The leap is still unjustified. The conclusion does not logically follow from the premise. Special pleading, are we counting the amount of fallacies we see on display so far? Keep record, keep count, guys. The argument quietly exempts Egyptians from the rules applied to others. Dark-skinned Africans enslaved because of phenotype. Light-skinned Europeans enslaved because of other reasons. Egyptians somehow exempt. No consistent rule is applied. When exemptions multiply, the rule is broken. Bottom line on the logical verdict, the claim fails because it starts from a false premise. Never acquiesce to a false premise. Never. The premise is false, you got no argument. Confuses correlation with causation. Applies modern racial concepts anachronistically. He relies on genetic essentialism when it is not applied in these times. It's look-and-ship is not a thing. Uses selective evidence. Reaches conclusions that do not logically follow. In short, it is not an alternative explanation. It is a fallacy cluster, a bag of nonsense. So let me close up. The claim that Arabs enslaved Nubians and Cushites because of skin color, phenotype, or any other reason, while sparing Egyptians and North Africans due to genetic similarities, does not survive historical scrutiny. It is built on a false premise, sustained by selective evidence and justified through modern racial assumptions, projected backwards onto a medieval world that did not operate by those categories. The historical records is unambiguous. Egyptians, Berbers, Europeans, and even Arabs themselves were enslaved under specific legal, political, and military conditions. Slavery in the medieval Mediterranean and Islamic world was structured by power, geography, warfare, and access to trade networks, not by skin color or biology. The Bast Treaty, often misrepresented as evidence of racial slavery, it was clearly on display, was in fact a diplomatic agreement between two sovereign states that preserved Nubian independence for 600 years. A system that maintained reciprocal exchange and political autonomy cannot simultaneously be evidence of racialized enslavement. That reciprocal, I always want to say reciprocal in the Dutch version. That's why I stumble on it. What this argument ultimately reveals is not hidden racial logic in the past, but a present-day impulse to retrofit modern identity narratives onto history. So again, while attempting to undermine the Black Egypt conversation, this man gets up here and uses every racialized term possible. When we remove those anachronisms and return to the evidence, the phenotype explanation collapses completely. To even suggest that argument means that you are cherry picking and denying a full aspect of the history, full one half of it, more than half of it. Because the Nubians, at the end of the day, supplied 360 slaves. That means 1 slave per day. History does not need to be racialized to be understood. It needs to be read accurately. And with that, I'm done. So are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, brother. Going in as usual. We got Black Sage in the audience. I don't know if he hit the panel. I know he got a lot to say in the chat, but I don't know if he got the courage to come up in here with you, because you know you one of our top scientists out here on YouTube. So I don't know if he got the courage or the heart to come in here and say whatever he's saying in the chat and challenge you on that. But I got my man Suntan. Cam up, Suntan. Suntan. All right, you go to the back. Let me get my man. Damn. You got a Hebrew Israelite in the building, Apostle. You got 2 coming ready to come. What's up, Apostle? What do you think about the brother presentation? Do you want to add on to it or what? What's up? Or do you have any critique for the brother?
No critique. I'm surprised that I kind of agree with the brother a little bit.
Oh, wow. That's what's up, bro.
Bit. Yeah, I mean, I just disagree with Chief yesterday. I mean, it was feminine fugazi nonsense. And I hate saying it like that. But even my wife commented and said, "Who's that talking?" I said, "Oh, that's Chief X." She said, "Well, I ain't going to tell you what she said."
Right. Leave her out of it, brother.
Yeah, I ain't gonna tell you what she said, but it has something to do with being in the closet. You know,
oh, you stupid!
She picked right up on the spirit, and you know,
hey, that's wild, yo.
Crazy,
yeah, closet jockey, man. That's what he is. He's a closet jockey. So, you know.
Wow.
Only infinite man, an infinite man can think like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm not saying the dude is whatever, but I'm just saying he think like a female.
Damn, Apostle.
And that's the way he expressed himself.
Spirit, huh?
Apostle. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna do. I ain't
You're not trying to be disrespectful or anything.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I've always said this is about Chief X.
All right.
I never met him. I don't know him, but he.
All right.
I don't want no clap back at you, man. Let me go.
You know, the thing is, for anybody to argue that the first, I'm gonna say 14 dynasties, at least that, were not black-skinned people. For anybody to make that argument, something's wrong.
Okay. Now, I want to, Apostle, let y'all know, and I know y'all probably know already, but there's been another ICE shooting in Indianapolis. He was 37 years old. He was a nurse. He was a citizen, and he had a pistol on him, but he was licensed to carry. He ain't pull it out. He ain't do none of that. When the ICE agents seen the pistol, they just opened fire on him, brother. He didn't pull it out or nothing, man. It's crazy, man. 37 years old, man. And yes, he was the white man.
Yeah, they are emboldened by Trump. If y'all seen anything on the internet about Trump arresting Obama, that's AI.
Yeah, you know that.
That's AI.
Didn't saw that. But anyway, that's not going to be the last one. And let me go to Humble right quick. Humble, what do you think about what you've seen with Brother Cedrick?
Guess he fell on his back, right?
In the bomb, did he blow himself up?
He blew himself up with the boom.
Who are you talking about?
Humble. He just disappeared.
He blew up, boom.
Okay, let me move on. The next one we had was on Black Face. What up, man?
Hey, what's good, sir? Hey, sir, if you ever call me, am I scared again to come up on the panel with any one of these brothers that you have up here, man? Don't do that, man. Cause see, then you set me off to go on the killing spree up here.
Well,
So
do you agree with Cedrick or you disagree with the brother information?
I don't fully disagree with Cedrick. I don't fully disagree with him. But I just wanted to ask him a question though. Do you think the Arabic slave trade, the long-standing run that it had, did it actually have any effect on the Bach Treaty? And more specifically, do you see in the Arabic slave trade sort of paving the way for the transatlantic slave trade?
Cedrick, you hear him? He asked me a question.
What is your question? What is your question?
Yeah. Do you think that? Okay, so according to your presentation, the Bach Treaty sort of gave. Are you saying that it gave equal footing between the Arab caliphates and the Mercurian, the Nubian Mercurians? And the reason why
listen, it established a treaty and a ceasefire, right? They allowed trade to happen because they could not be conquered. That's the whole point. They remain sovereign. So that treaty is something that is done with all warring nations. And like I said in my presentation, in Europe, you have treaties. You have the 100-Year War Treaty. Always at the end of a war, whether especially one that ends in stalemate because you cannot conquer me, a treaty is established. Shout out to Assad, shout out to the bomb squad, right? And that treaty is indicative of my sovereignty. The fact that we are politically equal. We do not have to be militarily equal. We don't have to be economically equal, right? We don't have to be even equal in terms of size. But we are equal politically because you did not have the ability to conquer me. So we remain with a stalemate. We established a treaty by means we allowed trade to happen, and we established trade on a political basis where both parties come away with something. Nubians have no need for slaves. They did not have that type of market. They did not have that type of economy. So, of course, the Arabs in their trade agreement would require captives, aka slaves, right? But what did the Nubians get? Grain. That far outweigh any type of slavery you can imagine. Grain was essential back in these days. So equal, what do you mean by equal? What we know, they were equal diplomatically and politically. They were equal because of that treaty. That is what that treaty explains, and not creating the impression that they were conquered, subdued, and were paying servitude. That is the impression Chief X tried to give, and that was a lie.
Okay, so let me say this. That's where Chief X was 1,000% correct, and you're negative 10,000% wrong. Because the first incursion of the Arabs against the Nubians, they did not succeed. They did not succeed, and that was in 1642. The Arabs came back about a decade later, if I'm not mistaken, in 1652, 1654, and they did. Hold on, and they did conquer.
They did not.
Hold on. Yes, they did. They did conquer.
You look at the presentation.
Hey, listen. I don't listen.
The Boss Treaty was
can I finish what I'm saying, bro?
After the second after the second invasion, not the
Listen,
first.
bro.
So
Listen, bro. Can I finish saying what I'm saying,
after the
Cedrick?
second siege?
Can I finish saying what I'm saying? Because you made the statement, Cedric.
You make it seem
you made the statement
establishes the conquest.
You made the statement that the Arabs.
Hold on, Cedric. Cedric,
because he already know he's wrong historically.
You ain't scared, Cedric.
Yes, he is. Don't tell him that shit. I'm sorry. Don't tell him that lie. Yes, he is. Don't do that, bro. Don't get up here and say that they were politically equal. They were not. Don't get up here and say that they were economically equal. They were not. During the first caliphate that tried to invade them in 1642 did fail. They could not conquer them. The second time those Arabs came in there, you know what those Nubians did? They said, you know what? We want peace. We want peace. They begged those Arabs not to wipe them out. That was 10 years later. And so this is why the Bach Treaty was established. And a part of that was those Nubians. And I don't believe you just even said this out your mouth, that they exchanged Nubian slaves. They gave Nubian slaves to the Arabs for grain, and grain was more important than their own people. That's the craziest thing that I've ever heard anybody say, bro. Like, come on, man. Don't do that, Cedric. They were subjugated to them. They had to not only pay them slaves, they had to pay them money. They were tributaries, bro. That's called subjugation.
No, it was not.
Bro, come on, stop, bro.
They wasn't a tributary state to them. Chief X messed it up. They paid tribute, but they wasn't a tributary state to them.
They were a tributary state to them. If they had to send slaves to them, they gave them. Hold on, if you come to me and say, listen, you got to pay us tribute, not just with your goods, but with your own people. Send us slaves, not workers. Send us slaves. You become then a vassal state
to you. That's not.
No, that's how it's been, bro. Through all history, bro. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna let y'all argue over that.
Fall back a little bit.
That's ridiculous to say that these people weren't subjugated to the Arab Caliphate, bro.
So you don't know you can be a tribute and not be a tribute state. You didn't know that You didn't know that.
I'm telling you that they were a tribute state.
Okay, let's look it up.
It's in the Bach Treaty.
First of all, let's deal with your first fallacious claim. I'm just going to address the fact that after the second caliphate, which lasted a year, right? It was a siege on Dongola. It lasted a year. The fact that they were getting their ass whooped the same way is why they came up with a treaty. You know what a treaty is? It's a ceasefire based on a stalemate. Why, if you're beating me and you want to conquer me, would you accept me telling you, hey, I'm just going to give you 360 slaves when their whole intention was to conquer? Like, your argument makes no sense. It falls apart on its face. Brothers, you got the floor.
Come on, man. You cannot argue. Listen, Cedric.
They destroying the conversation with the word slave. I think Chief hold on, wait 1 second. Chief X kind of poisoned the whole topic with that slave word.
But they were
sending manpower over there.
They was not
manpower. Y'all calm down, bro. You ain't got to do that to everybody, bro.
No, I'm not doing it to you. You don't call my name,
respectful. I don't want to be
disrespectful. They were sending slaves. They were not just
sending
slaves.
Because
they were sending slaves. Don't you know what slave work is? Hold on. Don't you know the difference between slave workers and mercenaries?
Bro, go on with that.
Hold on.
Pushing that faulty narrative.
Hold on, everybody, hold on. Yara, allow Ashe to talk uninterrupted, brother. Just like we allow you to do it. So go ahead, Ashe.
But he can't keep cutting me off though when I'm talking.
Ain't nobody cutting you off.
He was talking, Yara. You stopped.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
I was talking to Cedric.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't dominate the conversation.
I'm not trying to dominate the conversation, but I want to know if you show me how when he says they were just sending them infantry or
now you trying to talk to me. I thought you were talking to Cedric. How you trying to
nah, bro? Go on, bro.
He's done, son.
To you.
So I'm gonna get back to what I was saying. I thought you were talking to Sai. He's trying to slip his way into getting a response out of me. I'm finna land my plane, fam.
I don't care if you get a response out of your ass or not.
Bro. I'm just saying. I'm about to say what I'm about to say, bro. I'm tired of being disrespected.
I'm talking about you've been already being disrespected. You can't help that.
Real talk.
You can't help that.
Yo,
watch it not.
Come on, man. Come on, yo. Come on, brother. Come on, y'all. You're
watch your language.
So, like I was saying, Chief X poisoned the whole conversation when he threw out that word slave. He knew that was, he's being triggering. He was being very facetious. They were sending manpower over there. We know it was just manpower because they had to help build. You know what I mean? But one point of this was that part of the Bach Treaty was that, like I said the other day, they couldn't mistreat them. They couldn't beat them. They couldn't do nothing otherworldly to them people, or it would have been a wrap. So you acting like they were just, that's what I'm saying. It was just manpower. It was just helping hands. That's all. That was it. Them people wasn't subjugated. They wasn't living like second-class citizens. None of that. If that would have, there were reports of that. And there were even battles during the Bach Treaty. I bet you don't know that. They even had to battle for a couple times where there was mistreatment of their peoples. Like we even discussed the other day, that the Arabs in Egypt in the beginning of the treaty couldn't even hold up the end of it. So they wasn't even getting their people at first. It's so much stuff. And then you said that they was getting subjugated. Bro, no. Like the brother said, that's why if you read it, just get into it yourself. You will see that they was able to go through Sudan. They was able to go through Egypt. But when it came down to Little South, because that's still Egypt to me, y'all playing these games, Ta-Seti is Nubia. That's the oldest Egyptian known. First Egyptian known. Y'all playing with this stuff, man. Ta-Seti is Nubia, land of the bow, both definitions. That's why I asked the Goofy when he was here about Ta-Seti versus land of the bow. It's the same thing. So when we get to even playing this game right here, right, bang, when they want to go down south, they met the Magi. I don't know why I ain't heard that word yet. Magi. They met the Magi archers, miters. They couldn't even get close. So what they came back and they was like, okay, bro, we can't get to them. We can't get to them. We need to do something. The brother is right. You're totally wrong.
That's
because the battle preceded it. The battle preceded it. But when it came to 52, that 52 year, that's when the treaty was established. There was a battle preceding that, but the treaty was established in 52. That lets us know that they weren't under any subjugation. That lets us know, and he's absolutely right when he said getting that natural material, those grains and that stuff for their land was way more vital than just sending y'all a couple little manpower over there to help you build a mosque up for your religious feelings. Come on, man. We over here feeding our family with this grain. You're trying to draw this emotional feeling to the conversation, trying to pull on people's emotions. They sent their own people over there to help them work on the building. Man, if I was a construction worker, I send me and my crew, and we'd go down to Arizona, and we'd work on the building too. Man, come on, you playing games. You act like them people was able to get hurt. I land my plane.
They did get hurt, and you just said it yourself. There were serious reports on them being murdered, killed, overworked, not paid. That's why they had to send them people annually to replace the ones that was being killed off from the being overworked. Those people were slaves, bro. They didn't just ask for no manpower just to build mosques. Those people were slaves. Those people was raising their children. Those people was digging ditches. Those people was not just building mosques, bro. They were slaves.
What's the topic you want to discuss?
Living in the worst conditions possible over there. Number one, because they were Christians. Them Nubians was Christians.
So y'all can make it.
Come on, bro.
You talking about Shay was talking about.
Mute your mic, sir.
You got mute out, sir.
Oh, my bad.
Was Christians, but do you know Sharia law?
The emotional rhetoric and
absolutely
over and over and over doesn't make it valid, doesn't make it stick. Shay broke it even further down. You don't have a leg to stand on.
Pick up the phone. I'll pick up the phone, brother.
From the moment we establishing a treaty, right? Which go ahead. I'll just repeat myself. Go ahead. You muted.
Hey, Sa, you gotta mute your mic, Sa.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I don't know if Sa's watching as I actually gave him a little snippet of a presentation. I was actually watching Cedrick's presentation. I watched his whole presentation. Brother Cedrick, you did an amazing job dismantling his racial, theory indoctrination that he was trying to prove. However, right, I want to point out two specific points that he made that were totally false. The first point he made that was totally false was he said the Egyptians or the Cometian people during that time had a Caucasoid phenotype, whereas the Nubians had a black. I don't know where we got black as a race, but he said a black type, right? That's false. I got a presentation in the back right now. And like I said, I just did this. I do this easy work, bro. That show that they shared phenotype.
Of course it did.
Then I want to point on one other very point. I'm out of here, right? Unc asked the brother a very clear question. He said, so out of all the information you dropped, would you consider the Nubians Negroids? He said, oh, I don't want to deal with Nubia because it encompasses a lot of stuff. I want to say Kush. Now, here's why that's misleading. Which Kush are you talking about?
Ethiopians?
Exactly. Which Kush?
Somalia?
Yeah.
Because in your presentation, you
Yemenis?
smashed two Kushes together as if they was the same Kush, knowing they wasn't the same people.
And ain't there genetic overlap?
Thank you. I land my plane with that, y'all. If sa.neter come back, I'd be happy to show the little presentation I conducted. I'll land my plane right there.
So Nipsey Hussle, he won't be an Egyptian. He wouldn't fit right there in Egypt.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, Silky D with that straight hair, wouldn't he be an Egyptian? You see, like that's why 42 nomes, 1,000 kilometers. There's no singular phenotype. You have overlapping phenotype that range from dark to light, right? From south to north. That is understandable. A genetic continuity. At which point you're going to make that cutoff and say this is a hard cutoff line.
Hey Cedrick, really fast, brother Cedrick, if I may, do you mind if I drop this little presentation in your back chat?
Go ahead. Okay. I'd love for you to nail that one and close that coffin, because he's been getting cooked from every angle. Every angle he's been getting cooked.
Who want to go next? Who haven't we heard from? Okay, Orlando, Gullah, go ahead.
It was good with it, man.
Did you see the topic?
I'm just coming back of my brother. What's good with it? Pseudo killers in the building. What's up with it, y'all? Man, I was just saying, you know what I'm saying, bro, went in, like, you know what I'm saying, the people was, you know what I'm saying, it was a multicultural civilization, yo. It wasn't just one culture on the Nile, yo. So you're gonna have diversity and all that. And like we can't use old outdated anthropological terms like Caucasoid and Negroid. That's not a modern anthropological approach to anything. You know what I'm saying? So even if you say people with slender features in their face, you know what I'm saying, it's a better term to say aquiline features, but you know, you had a various multiple, you know what I'm saying, mixtures of features. They don't make a person Caucasoid because they got aquiline features.
Okay. All right. Silky D, what you got to add to it? Did you see the presentation?
Nah, I didn't catch it. I just jumped on.
Well, they usually say if you didn't see it, you can't comment on it. But what you got anyway, man?
Oh man, I hear what y'all saying, man. It sounds like y'all got a good build going on. You know, I hear a few good key points here and there. Keep up the good work, man. I'm just chiming in.
Okay, I see Unc is still on the phone. Cedrick, you want to add something in right quick, man, since you are the host?
Yeah, I appreciate the bomb squad up here. I just laid out a general foundation, right? And I think there's enough areas there where these young brothers and their scholarship can go all the way in and flush it out. But I just needed that frame out there to show that how Chief X is simply out of his league. It's the kettle calling the pot black. You're trying to fight against Black Egypt at the same time making all these racialized terms. Right. You're making a hard line, right? The Nubians are so-called Black. However, Nubia fits well within the Egyptian lexicon, right? There is no electrical fence. I like the Ankh says, is there electrical border that only the goods can pass through the electrical border. So the gold that gets up there, don't the Nubians actually bring the gold up? And the textile and the grain, isn't that a relationship? We have factual evidence, so you're always going to have a genetic continuity. In an expanse of 1,000 miles with 42 nodes, you cannot expect there to be a singular phenotype. So this argument of Caucasoid and Negroid is just out of place in 2026.
Yeah, but you got back to that Bach thing in 652. I believe the date is somewhere around 652 CE.
Yes, sir.
There was not actually a conquest. So both sides negotiated a formal agreement. I'm gonna get some primary documentation. So there was no Arab conquest of Nubia. It was a mutual non-aggressive pact. Okay, Nubia supplied Egypt with slaves annually, fixed quota, right? And Egypt supplied Nubia with grains and textiles. Once again, Nubia supplied Egypt with slaves annually, fixed quota, and Egypt supplied Nubia with grain and textiles. Okay, Nubia retained its Christianity and political autonomy and its kings. It said the treaty remained in effect remarkably for 600 years, one of the longest lasting treaties in medieval history. So the fact that you would play the conquest game and talk all that wildness and yelling and screaming to the top of your voice, you just go ahead and stay with the Bible, bro. The Bible is fixed for you, not this.
Woo-wee! All right, let me bring on hey brother Silky. I gotta let you know, Silky D, we got the bomb squad in the building. We got the pseudo killers in the building. Brother, be careful with the pseudo stuff. These young boys, they're around your age, brother. The bomb squad don't play that, and you already know the killers don't play that. So what's on your mind, brother?
You got a perm, yo. Don't come over here talking to me.
I don't think anybody really want. They really want smoke. I mean, they could easily get it, but we talking genetics, we talking archaeology, which y'all paleontology, take your pick, skull morphology. You know what I'm saying? That's whatever. Ancient Egypt, ancient Libya, ancient Morocco, ancient Nigeria, Algeria. Whatever y'all want to do.
Hey, Silky. 2 months ago.
Whoa, hold on,
hey,
man.
Silky,
You cut me out, bro. Hey, you
hold on, let him go.
Let him go. He got an ancient perm. Let him go. He got an ancient perm.
All right, let him go. What do you have to say about Cedrick's presentation, brother?
I heard what Cedrick was saying on there. He sounded like he was on point a little bit.
Okay, so you don't have a question for him?
Nah, I ain't got no question for Cedrick.
He got a perm, though.
Leave the brother alone, man. Come on now.
No decorum, man. Where's your decorum at?
He just said he didn't even see the presentation. Now he lying, bro.
All right, let me go to you, brother. What's happening, man? Do you have a question for Cedric's presentation?
No, I already spoke. I'm pseudo killer fish. I already gave him his flowers, yo. I think you had jumped out.
Pseudo killers as well.
Yeah. I'm original. I'm original Team Osiris, man. I'm in Gozy little brother, yo. It's Gullah in the building. What's good with
it? Okay. That's what's up.
We get it in. Shit.
Hey, Apostle, you want to get it in again? You spoke?
No, I spoke. I just kind of laid out a little bit while you was being entertained.
Yeah.
So
hey, we got Sanchez and Unk getting ready to rumble again, man. That's coming up. Yeah, brother Sanchez and Unk, and they got a good topic. And then we got Neftali and Nepal. So we got two powerful there.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, they finally getting in the ring, man. So it is what it is. Nobody want to say. Let me get Humble. Humble got his hand up. What up, Humble?
That's my presentation in the back right there. So I just want to know if you could pop it up really fast.
All right, but what is the presentation about?
A little bit about.
No, hold on. Who just did that? That was you, Apostle?
No.
Unc did that. Unc, you can't be doing that, brother.
No, I didn't touch it. The thing went and did it by itself. I'm on
your show and do all that, man.
I want to sound like Chief X did yesterday. Start stammering his family.
All right, hey, Humble. You can't do a presentation, brother.
No, it's not a presentation. So I just condensed it. So because I'm normally every time I'm up here, I'm reading off of my thing. I just condensed it in a way I can share my screen. I know everybody like to share screen stuff.
Right.
So
Okay.
And it falls in line. It falls right in line with what I presented.
Right. So I spoke a little bit about this earlier, right? The brother said that the Egyptians were Caucasoids and the Nubians were black. So what he was saying was they did not share phenotypes. That's absolutely false. They absolutely share phenotypes. The Nubians and Cometians were neighbors in the Nile Valley people, continuous migration and intermarriage. Both were brown skinned. What did he say? He said they were Caucasoid. They were light. Do this look like light people to y'all? They're brown skinned. They go from middle brown, deep brown, to dark brown. Let's keep going. And this is my last point, right? These are scholars that even agree with what brother Cedrick, myself, brother Unc, and brother Ashe was saying. The Nile Valley was populated by Africa from the Saharan to the Sudanic zone, all of whom were brown skinned and phenotypically related. So anybody that's saying that they're not related phenotypically is false, and that is pseudo, and we got to get that out of here. That's all I wanted to share, brother Sai. I appreciate you for that.
All right. You want to go next, Apostle?
Yeah, matter of fact, I would even go as far as saying even the Hebrews are the same phenotype. The scripture says so, as well as secular information says so. In the scriptures, they were called niggers. Said that Paul was asked if he was an Egyptian. Moses was thought to be an Egyptian by the wives, the daughters of Jethro.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Silky, put your number in the back chat, brother, so I can give you a call. Put your number in the back, private chat. All right, go ahead, Apostle.
So we all were the same, not just the Nubians, not just the Egyptians. Understand, Israel is on the continental plateau of Africa. You got to understand that. Just like the original Philistines were dark-skinned people. The Canaanites were dark-skinned people. Yeah, Jordan were dark-skinned people originally.
Well, the Canaanites had to be dark-skinned if you claiming that they were it's Hebrews.
They were dark-skinned. They were not the same phenotypically, though.
The Canaanites were Hamites. They were not.
I mean, it depends. It depends because they was mixed. You know, the Canaanites was a mixed culture.
You
The Semitics was always mixed.
From more than one tribe.
The Canaanites are not Israelites?
The Canaanites, what they do, there's 7 different people. The Amorites, the Gershonites, the Hittites, they were all part of the Canaanite family. But these guys were all dark-skinned people. All 7 tribes that were in that area. So, no, you don't know what you're talking. If you're trying to say only the Egyptians, Moses, when they laid eyes on him, the first thing they asked him was he in it? No, they told their father in Egyptian, because Moses was thirsty. He just crossed that desert. And we got an Egyptian out here.
So can I ask you a question,
No, hold up for 1 minute. Hold up, Humble. Apostle, would you like to get in the ring with one of the bomb squads?
No.
He said, no, quick. Hey, hold on.
I'm not going to
Hold on, Apostle. You answered. The Apostle, be quiet. Hold on. You answered already. Yara.
What's
You
good?
there, Yara?
Yeah, I'm here.
And I already know the answer to Yara. He don't run from nobody, man. Yara, would you like to get in the ring with one of the bomb squads?
For what? What the hell for? So at the end of the day, let me say this, son. Let me say this, son. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what. I'll do a debate, but I'm gonna do a presentation on why these three caliphates that led up into this Bach treaty, why they in fact did enslave Nubians. And I'm not talking about no goddamn weekend workers. I ain't talking about no goddamn sand surfers. Y'all come over here and sand surf for a weekend. I'm talking about enslaved. I'm talking about shadow slavery, and I'm going to show the source material and the information for it. See, we got to stop trying to glorify these goddamn Nubians like couldn't nobody kick their ass. Talking about, so how come did nobody mention that AJ Archers? Talking about couldn't nobody mention how come did nobody mention that Magi Archers? Take that arrow and shove it up your
Yara, are you a Hebrew Israelite?
My point.
Huh?
Talking. Don't ask me no questions while I'm talking.
I just want to know. Are you
don't ask me no questions while I'm talking.
Yeah,
Rob.
So,
can you answer
so that's the first presentation I'm gonna come up here and show, and then I want them to come back on here when I'm done, because you see how that shit go when I had that goddamn Mason up here, and he couldn't. When I had that Mason up here, he danced around y'all all night and spit on you and spit in the back of y'all head and tried to tell y'all it was raining. I'm trying to tell y'all at the end of the day, these people were enslaved. This ain't new information. It might be new information for some of y'all, but this is the base we've had already for years. This ain't new stuff, right?
All right.
So I already got it keyed up. And
so
this
because you think by saying the same shit over and over,
I'm gonna show that they were enslaved. That's all I'm gonna do.
Lying. At which point?
Hey,
at which point did they get able to enslave children? Now we know the caliphates spreading across
that those caliphates
and enslaving berber women and
see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
Hold on.
You get what I'm saying?
All right. Yara, now the young brother want to know, are you an Israelite, brother?
Yes, 1,000%.
All right, you're Israelite. Is Abraham a real person?
Yes, I could say Abraham was a real person.
Debate. Do you believe that the terminative YHWH, do you believe that's Yahweh or Yahuwah?
It's the same. It's a dialect.
Okay. Because somebody like Apostle will say they different.
Listen, let me explain something to you. You asked me a question. You didn't ask me.
He's both.
You didn't ask me. Hold on. You asked me what I thought about those two usages. We can show in the Bible that different people spoke different dialects. They spoke different pronunciations.
So
hold on, he's not wrong. Listen, he's not wrong. The Israelites themselves.
You said it's the same thing, brother.
No, I told you to listen. That's what I said. The Israelites. The Israelites themselves had a language and a pronunciation of the way that they pronounced the name of their God. They had people that lived around them that was trying to pronounce the name of their God, but could not, but they were referring to the same deity.
Now, the Israelites you're talking about is who?
You can see this in the book. You can see this in the book of Samuel. Apostle, remember when they asked them? Apostle, remember when?
I'm asking you, brother. Are you speaking of the historical Israelites?
Yes. So when I'm talking, Apostle, you remember when they asked them to say the name? Was it Shabilafeth or something like that? Hey, sa.neter, get your greasy tail off the camera when I'm talking, man. You don't know what the hell you talking about. How did they determine, Apostle, if they were Israelites or not? If those people were actually their people or not? They asked them to pronounce a specific word, and they couldn't do it.
But they were talking about the same place, but they knew the difference in the people because some people couldn't pronounce it the same.
All right. Hey, check this out. Check this out. Hold on.
Don't play with me, sa.neter.
Yara. Why don't you come up with a team?
I don't need no team.
No, listen. This will make it good. Like we did before with Jabari.
I will take on the bomb squad myself.
No, you won't, brother. Stop, man.
I just said it.
This is why I'm at really fast.
I just said it.
If I can get 10 seconds. Everybody knows when I speak. If I can get 10 seconds. This is why I'm asking a brother the questions I'm asking him, right? Because it's a lot to debate there. And if you're willing to get in the ring, I swear I will listen. I will make you an example.
What's the debate? What's the debate, son?
I will make you an example like everybody else.
What's the debate, grandson?
Would you debate if Abraham was a historical person or not?
I can show indirect evidence to that point. Yes.
Indirect. No, I'm talking about historical. Can you show historical?
Indirect evidence.
Can you show historical that he was?
There is no historical evidence for Abraham. Not historical, but there is indirect evidence.
What about Joseph?
There is indirect evidence.
What about the Exodus? Let's debate the Exodus.
Indirect. What the hell is that?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Hold on.
Don't run from that, Yara.
Hold on. I'm not running from nothing. I want y'all to shut up so I can talk. So y'all can sound like y'all. Let me finish talking. I believe that Exodus didn't happen. Hold on. They'll tell you.
Relax, Apostle.
Hey, bro, hold on.
I'm just saying it's not like we never had these debates with more.
Apostle, relax. You scared to debate. Let these two talk. Go ahead, Yara.
What I would debate is there PhD scholars that agree that Exodus did.
No, Yara.
If y'all don't shut the hell up and let me talk or what?
Yara, you was about
Stop cutting me off. I heard what he said. Let me answer the nigga.
I know. You was about to say something crazy that Apostle would have got you.
No, he wasn't. Let me know I was not.
You don't agree that
no, I was not. That's not what I said. See, you jumping the gun. You too excited. You got these little boys getting you off right now. Don't do that. Pause. What I'm telling you, let me finish my statement.
All right, go ahead.
I will bring to the debate. He can debate me whether is there PhD scholars that agree that the Exodus did occur. That's what I would debate.
No, I'm asking you, did the Exodus happen?
According to some, listen. God damn it. According to PhD scholars, the Exodus did occur. I will debate that.
Hold on, humble. Hold up.
I will debate that.
Hold up, humble. No.
I will debate that.
That's the flim flam. According to Yara, according to Black Sage,
according to PhD scholars, because if y'all don't shut the hell up while I'm talking,
that's flip flam.
No, but
we know historically. We know that they gonna say yes.
Okay, then. So let him bring his argument.
Appeal to authority.
Okay, then. So let him bring.
You could find one scholar, two scholars that are making that claim, but that's a false appeal to authority because the consensus doesn't agree with you.
Right.
William Deaver, the head archaeologist, says clearly no evidence and no modern scholar. The consensus is no evidence to support the
William Devers. William Devers never says the Exodus didn't happen.
Argument and trying to debate based on a fallacious point.
William Devers never said. Hold on. We can argue about what a consensus of scholars said because it wasn't not too long ago.
Arguing about no.
Man, would you shut the hell up while I'm talking?
Yeah, we asking you, do you believe?
Man, shut up. I know what I'm doing. What the hell is going on? What I'm saying is, if we're talking about the consensus of scholars, we know it was just not too long ago the consensus of scholars said that Cedrick came from a goddamn monkey because he had a smaller brain.
Nah, we ain't never seen you like this before, yo.
So that's what I'm saying. So based on the consensus of scholarship,
that boy stressed you out just now.
So when we can say he didn't stress me out nothing. There are PhD scholars that I agree with.
So what?
You stressed.
If you don't shut the hell up, sa.neter, I know what I'm doing. I don't need you to say nothing. I'm saying.
Listen, man. I'm asking you a simple question,
and I gave you my answer.
No, you keep telling me about scholars. We don't want to.
That's what we doing over here,
brother. You trying to debate what scholars say? We asking.
What the hell am I supposed to debate?
Let me ask you.
Hold on. What am I supposed to debate over here? Am I supposed to debate scholars?
No.
My opinion.
No, I'm asking you again.
Should I be debating scholars or my opinion?
Do you agree that the Exodus?
Should I be debating scholars or my opinion?
Now all of a sudden he don't know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I'm telling you, should I be debating scholarship over here or my opinion?
We talking about what you believe.
Shut the hell up. If you don't want me to bring scholarship, shut the hell up.
Hold up.
That's what I don't like you, New York.
Hold on. You could bring scholarship.
No, it's scholarship at this point.
Hold on. I'm asking you, do you believe?
Based on the scholarship?
This happened.
Based on the scholarship, that's what I will bring.
All right, but you still not answering my question.
I answered your question.
Did he
Based
answer
on the scholars,
did he answer
that's what I will bring. He can bring his scholars because that's all he's going to bring. He's going to bring scholars that say the Exodus didn't happen. I'll bring scholars that say the Exodus did happen.
So
that's the debate.
Here you go. So you're saying that the Exodus did happen?
I said he's going to bring scholars that the Exodus didn't happen, and I'm going to bring scholars that said the Exodus did happen.
Nah, you just want scholars.
PhD scholars.
Scholars against scholars. He wanted
Ain't that what the fuck we do over here?
No, we don't. No.
Get the hell out of here.
No, we don't.
Get the hell out of here.
You playing
now
games.
You heard it from your own mouth, sa.neter. We don't debate scholars over here. You just said that out your mouth.
I'm gonna ask I'm gonna see if this dude could be honest for once.
This nigga here, man.
Do you see what he's doing, Apostle? I'm asking him, did the Exodus happen? He keep running to the scholars. Oh, did the scholars say this?
Why can't we run to the scholars?
Let me finish. All you got to do is answer yes. I'll debate that. And then you can bring your goddamn scholars.
Yep.
You are.
I gave the goddamn answer that I'm giving. Based on scholars,
that's
the Exodus
the question, brother.
Is the goddamn question.
No, it's not.
That's the one I'm debating. And if you don't like it, he can kiss my shoes.
What did he say? What's that?
Run, Forrest, run.
I'm not running. I'm bringing scholars because I guarantee you, none of you fake pseudo killers will come up here and do a presentation. None of you fake pseudo killers will come up here and bring a debate and enter a debate and don't bring no scholarships and then say you can't rely on the scholars. See, y'all only want to make these rules.
What we call false appeal to authority.
Hey, man, listen. All y'all fake pseudo killers and everybody like y'all. This is what we not gonna do in 2026. We not finna let you cowards.
Because you cannot.
We not finna let you cowards. We not finna let you cowards.
If you
not
say
come up here and try to put us in debate and don't want to argue scholarship.
One mic. Hold on, one mic.
Y'all don't want to argue scholarship. Y'all want to argue scholarship. Y'all don't want to argue scholarship when it comes to Hebrews, but when we say we bring in scholarship, don't use scholarship. Man, kiss my ass.
Good work, Apostle.
You saying kiss your ass? You say
my entire ass.
Hold on. Y'all right. You need to know that's gay, right?
I don't give a.
When you're inviting another man to your backside, brother, that's not good. That's not good.
All you New York niggas is gay.
Tell nobody that, brother. I would never tell another man to kiss my backside, brother.
All you New York niggas is gay.
This is all an attempt to run away because, again,
I'm not running away from nothing. If he wanted to debate,
it's so easy to expose.
If he wants to debate, he can bring his sources. I'll bring my sources, and that's what we will debate. I don't understand what's so hard about that.
One mic. Go ahead, humble.
Okay. So, sa.neter, have you been getting my text messages, brother? You know I called out Kazad. You know who I called out. You know they running too, though. You know, but you know what's up. But I've been texting you on the back end too, sa.neter.
I got you.
Cause I don't want no smoke, humble.
All right. So
it's a stupid. See what I'm saying, sa.neter? The problem with y'all is what we not doing no more. And I've already told. I'm talking to sa.neter.
Hold on, Sanchez. Damn, Sanchez. Hold on. Cedrick, hold up. Go ahead, y'all rock.
This is what we're not doing in 2026. And I've already told most Israelites that I deal with, and there's quite a few of them. We're not doing no more debates when y'all want to argue scholarship and then say, oh, y'all got to argue y'all belief. No, we're going to argue scholar for scholar. That's what we're going to do in 2026.
So let me
So if
address
y'all looking for these, hold on, if y'all looking for these debates where y'all claim Israelites don't bring scholarship, you're not going to be debating no more Israelites.
Let me
because we're debating scholarship. We're going to go with what the scholars say.
We're
going to debate what the scholars say. Because guess what?
Me respond
y'all believe.
Cedrick, you're next.
Damn, bro. Y'all got some stuff that y'all can't prove, but guess what? You're not gonna come to the debate and debate nothing you can't prove. You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna debate what you can based on what the scholars say. And guess what? That's the field we're debating on from now on. Every Israelite.
Oh man, can I address this man and the logical fallacy? You know, I'm tired of dealing with this level of stupidity, and he thinks because he can rah, he's proving something. All he's doing is proving how ignorant he is. When we talk about scholars versus scholarship, this is indicative of this man's level of education. When you argue scholarship, you're arguing from a consensus. What does the scholarship, the body of scholars, agree to? You cannot argue your position based on one scholar's opinion. That would be academic fallacious. That would be a false appeal to authority because you're citing a quote-unquote PhD that automatically makes him correct. That's not only irrational, it's stupid and it's illogical, and it's an attempt to hide your hand. If you have a particular point, if you have a particular position, you can use whatever arguments you want. Bring all the scholars you want. But do not claim that that is then their scholarship. Because when you argue in your fringe positions, it doesn't matter what the degree is. That is a false appeal. Now, you can do whatever you want, but you're not going to sit in the presence of a pseudo killer and argue fallacious terms, bro. Step your game up, pseudo.
Let me address
Don't repeat that nonsense.
Let me tell you why what he just said was a crock of shit. Let me tell you why he said
y'all right. Try to keep composure without the cursing.
Let me tell you why he said it was full of crap. Because I never said I was going to bring one scholar. Never said that. I have multiple scholars. Now, when you talk about what a consensus is based on a selection of group of scholars who across interdisciplinary studies agree or disagree on a topic. That topic may be the Exodus. Did it occur? If the group of scholars across interdisciplinary studies say, well, we can't prove physical archaeological evidence, but you might have one scholar that says we can prove it linguistically. We can show it. You might have one that says we can prove it through anthropology. And they come and they convene and they have a conference, and that's how the consensus comes about. Now you have scholars but they does not mean that they're not scholars and that their work is not recognized as scholarship, you clown. You don't know what you're talking about when it comes to consensus of scholarship. So you don't know what you're talking about because the consensus of scholars, hold on real quick and I'll land. The consensus of scholars said Jesus was a real person.
No, they don't. You
a goddamn lie.
They do not.
Oh, come on, man. Do you want that debate?
You say you say it again. This consensus.
They say Jesus was a real person.
Oh yeah. They do say that.
The consensus of scholars say that.
They do that. But wait a minute. But we say
so his argument doesn't even make sense, bro.
Let me talk, bro. You yelling. You on yellowship right now for the last hour.
I ain't showed nothing. I ain't showed no scholars.
I ain't never seen you like this before. Yo,
I ain't seen no scholars because y'all try to do the first man when it comes to Israelites.
Oh, hold on, bro. I refuse to yell over you in a mad stupor right now. I'm not doing it.
You know what I'm saying? But y'all got to stop with the disrespect when it comes to the Israelites.
You got to be quiet, man. Don't nobody care about the fake Israelites. It's fake.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Nobody care about the fake pseudo killers. But nobody like you ugly Baltimore niggas either.
Okay, let me make my point, bro. What I'm saying is, if a man asks you to debate, right? He's talking about you and what you believe, right?
Come on.
I'm talking about the scholars. So the scholars gonna say it ain't no Exodus. And then I'm gonna ask you, then why are you believing in something that you can't even verify in your own text? Why are you believing in something that can't nobody verify? I would say, what the hell wrong with you at that point? You know what we saying. So if you're gonna start using scholars, then just go ahead and say, yo, my beliefs have changed.
Right. My beliefs have not changed. My beliefs have not changed, but that has nothing to do with the scholastic debate. Because the inequity.
Hold on. Y'all right. You got to allow Unc to talk, brother.
He won't let me, yo.
He shut the hell up. I thought he did.
Man, I wouldn't be able to breathe you. So you saying if I just stop breathing, yo, I gotta keep talking like polite used to talk for hours straight without breathing? Come on, man. Go ahead, Ashay.
Well, that's what I said. Now, see,
what I was gonna say was what he's saying is null and void, and it don't make no damn sense in the first place. Because if we go come to a debate, we go bring the scholarship to the debate anyways.
Right.
So you saying nothing for nothing. Take the debate, get your butt kicked, and your scholars gonna be pseudo with you.
I agree with you. Okay, fine. Then let me bring my pseudo scholarship. Let him bring his pseudo scholarship.
All right, so Yara, here's the question I'm gonna ask you again. Not what scholars say. I'm asking you, what do Yara say?
I just told your ass.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. So we can clear it up, and I want everybody to listen. Yara, do you agree that the Exodus happened? Yes or no? And if you do agree with it, then you can bring your scholar material and then you can prove your facts. Now I'm asking yes or no. Do you agree that the Exodus happened?
You muted me. I can't answer. Based on scholars that have done this work and studied, that's the debate I will have. Y'all don't have to accept my answer.
How in the hell are you gonna take a debate? Oh, based on what scholars say, I'll debate that the scholars said.
And that's what the hell everybody else doing up here.
Because we know what you're trying to do, bro. You go out there, you go lose, and then you go try to turn around and say, well, he ain't beat me, he beat the scholar. No, we just want to.
I didn't ask you nothing. I said I will bring my sources. He can bring his sources. And that's the argumentation we can have. And if y'all don't understand that that's how a debate goes, what he wants to do, hey, let me say this to you, sa.neter. If he wants to debate my belief, then I will debate his belief.
Okay.
He's not putting up his belief. He's asking me for a scholastic debate versus my belief. That's not an equitable debate. So in an equitable debate, when I'm finished, son, in an equitable debate, I will bring my scholars. He can bring his scholars, and we can have the argumentation.
Of course,
I told you in 2026, we're not playing that goofy shit with y'all no more.
All right, I will debate you on the fact that the Exodus was not a historical event. Do you accept? Yes or no?
Based on.
Bro, yes or no?
Based on
yes or no?
Based on, can I finish? Hey, listen, can I finish my statement?
Want to know.
Can I finish my statement? Can I finish my statement?
I ain't never see y'all get punked.
Can I finish my statement? Can I finish my statement?
Yes, go ahead.
Your statement too damn long. Shit.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, you almost made me say something to you.
Yo, you're right.
Something wild, bro. So based on
y'all gonna have to back off of y'all.
So based on hold on, I got this, bro. They not doing. Trust me, they not doing a goddamn thing. I'm one of them. So let me say this to Humble.
He's stressed out.
I will, as I said before, there is evidence versus there's direct evidence, and there is something called indirect evidence. With your genius ass. So we can talk about what is the direct evidence versus the indirect evidence, and we can argue that.
Oh man, get the hell out of here, y'all. Right.
And if you don't want to debate that,
scary.
And we don't want to debate that, call it what you want to call it, but don't call your grandma too late. Check on your grandma's soul outside. I'm telling you, that is exactly what I would debate, because I'm not playing. See, these young boy debate topics, and y'all jacking them up for it in these young boy debate topics. These topics, y'all think we ain't done? Y'all
take the debate. Then take
these little Negroes.
Take it then and get
y'all
embarrassed.
Think we haven't debated the Exodus before these little Negroes? And what I'm telling you is that when you learn scholarship and when you actually study the topic, the right arguments that the scholars actually debate, when the scholars have the debates whether or not there was an Exodus or not, you know what they do? They bring their sources and they have the argumentation.
He's admitting he don't believe. He's admitting he don't believe no more.
Everybody hold on. You know what Yara is doing?
Yeah, man.
Let me speak, Yara. What you're doing, Yara, is saying, I will debate you based on what the scholars are saying. Now, you know, you can get scholars that agree with them, and you can get scholars that don't agree with them. That goes with everything. That goes with everything, every topic. It's going to be scholars that say yes and scholars that say no. Am I right, y'all?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's not a good time. What you doing, y'all? Right? It's not. It's
no,
not.
nigga, that's a debate. That's a debate, and that's how they debate. That's how they debate. So when y'all talking about stepping up debate, that's how you debate.
I'm not going to be too long, y'all.
No, go ahead.
Debate topic. Here's a better debate topic. Do you believe that the Israelites that the Bible are speaking about, the Israelites in the Bible, are the same Israelites that are here in the United States? Do you believe they're the same people?
Oh,
those can't be the same people. What do you mean by same people?
So are you saying that the 12 tribes or the 12 lost tribes, they never?
He's saying he's not an Israelite.
No, I didn't say that. No. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying to you is,
Israelite. Get me to Zaryak in here.
No, what I'm saying to you, first of all,
he's scared.
What I'm saying, hey, shut up, Brandon.
He's scary as hell.
What I'm saying is that, listen, what I'm saying is that when you say the same people, what do you mean by same people?
Are you saying that the African American today is the descendant of the Hebrew Israelites in the Bible?
There are some, yes.
See, yo, here, Flint. Can you give me Tazariak or something?
There are some, yes. There are some, yes. No, I'm not scared. I'm just gonna give you what I'm gonna give you what people don't. There are some that are. There are some that are not. Everybody that was taken in the transatlantic slave trade. Some that were taken in the transatlantic slave trade were not Israelites. So why would I argue that topic? Why would I argue those? Why would I argue?
You didn't want to be the elder to lose to the young dudes. That's all, bro. Just get out the way. Get out the way, bro.
The problem is that that's not. Listen, bro. Everybody who was taken in the transatlantic slave trade was not an Israelite. So you can't. That's not an argument. I'm telling you, no.
That's not what he asked you, brother.
That is what he asked me.
African
Exactly what he asked.
Hold on. He said
exactly what he asked.
African American today. Are they the same Hebrews that's in the Bible, brother?
No, they're not. No, they're not.
So I'm gonna dumb it down for you. Do you believe that the black man here is the tribe of Judah?
No, not all the black men are of the tribe of Judah. There are some.
Yo, he's pseudo, bro.
There are some, but there's some that are not.
Ain't no way.
Get him out of here.
There are some, but there's some that are not. The problem is, y'all keep arguing. Hold on. Y'all keep. Let me help y'all.
You ain't tough enough. We tired of hearing it, bro.
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all keep arguing.
We don't want to let you tell us nothing, bro. You scary.
Y'all keep arguing ISUPK talking points. I never come from that school.
We're asking Yara personally, what does he believe? And you talking about the scholar this, the scholar that. You don't believe in your own book. You're not an Israelite no more, bro. You gave up on the faith.
That, dummy. The book never says that.
We talking about.
Do you understand that?
I was referring to the Exodus thing. That's what I was really referring to.
That's what I'm. So
the way that you book dead stat.
Hold on. So when you talk about,
yo, everybody be quiet. Captain Tazariak, I'm live. Are you free to talk?
What's up?
I got some young soldiers. I got a new group out here. They call themselves the Bomb Squad. They young. Okay. 22, 20 years old. And so I have a question for you. The brother want to ask you one question. Humble, where you at?
I'm right here, brother. I'm right here.
Come on, we got Captain on the line. You want to ask Captain the same question? You ask Yara?
Tazariak, do you believe the Exodus happened? Do you believe the Exodus is a historical event?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I got another question for you. Do you believe that the African American here is the tribe of Judah?
You're breaking up. I can't hear.
Do you believe that the African American man here is of the tribe of Judah?
Yeah, the so-called black man in America.
There you go.
So how come Captain Tazariak can answer these questions?
Hey, y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Because that's an ISUPK teacher.
Get him out of here, man. He's
I keep telling y'all that.
Hey, yo, y'all scared of these
That's an ISUPK teacher. Now, every black man, if you ask me, does every black man is every...
Hold on, y'all hold on, because we got the captain on right quick. Do you want to ask him anything else, Humble?
No, that's about it. I appreciate that, brother.
All right.
No
Well, you
sweat,
know, Captain is going to be, he's going to be on the Coliseum Monday, and he's going to be ready for any questions y'all got. The Captain will be there.
I'll meet him then. Until
All right,
next time.
peace, Captain.
Hey, no sweat, peace.
All right.
Yeah. So that's why
Okay, nothing, Yara.
but that's why you
Yara,
gotta call
you
somebody
don't
from
want to smoke.
ISUPK.
Nah, bro,
because
you just
that's
don't
what
got
they
no
teach.
faith in the book no more, bro.
That's not what the
Just
book
there to
teach.
try. You
Yeah.
don't want to smoke.
That's
Yara.
not what the book
Can I
teach.
ask
That's
you?
why I
So, are
debated
you
against
an
Captain
Israelite by
Demetrius.
faith, or are you an Israelite by bloodline?
Let me say this.
No, don't say nothing yet, Apostle. He asked him.
Are you an Israelite by faith, or are you an Israelite by bloodline?
I'm an Israelite by faith.
Okay.
Respect. I'm gonna fall back. Now, thank you. That's all we need to hear.
Because we don't know what because you gotta tell me what the Israelite bloodline is. What's the Halpo group?
I believe
Nobody knows.
I can fly.
I'm glad you out your pseudo bag. You out your pseudo bag.
I've been
But I
out my
still
pseudo bag.
take that
Y'all
Exodus.
just don't know
Take that
what
Exodus
bag I
debate
hold.
though, bro. Bring your scholars.
Let me get Apostle, and Apostle was next. Go ahead, Apostle.
See, I debate scholarship. Y'all debate the fairy tale shit, not me.
They go to debate Humble and Cesaria. Why not?
Oh, sorry, now you're gonna
I ain't gonna do that because Cesaria's not going to
believes exactly what Humble wants to know.
Yeah. So what about you? Let me ask you. Do you believe that the Exodus happened, Apostle?
You know I believe that.
Well, there's a debate right there then.
I'm not going to debate the side.
Don't debate. That's not nothing to debate.
That's
not nothing to debate, bro.
That's what y'all want to do.
Right. Because I guarantee you, listen, if I'm telling you.
Apostle, hold on really fast. Can I get in here? I'm only going to take 5 seconds. Hey, Apostle, you had an interesting point our first interaction that I strongly disagree with. You said Yahuwah and Yahweh are not the same deity. We can debate that Yahuwah and Yahweh are the same deity.
Call out.
Like I said,
mandatory, Apostle.
I know where the word Yahuwah comes from. That's that's God. I'm not saying that that's not. I'm saying Yahweh.
Yah. That's Abo Yah.
No, Yahweh is a misinterpolation.
Oh man, y'all crazy.
Word.
Yeah, that's Yah, right? Let me hear you say what
Can somebody say bomb squad?
Bomb squad.
Now that sounds gay as hell.
Oh, straight up Apostle.
Because you can't hear what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
want no smoke, side. I don't want no smoke.
That's not no smoke.
Because you won't listen.
That's not no smoke.
We'll
And
listen
y'all
to
been
you at the
fooled to
debate.
think that's smoke.
We'll listen to you when you on the clock at the debate.
I don't disagree with the word Yahuwah or Yahuwah.
Yahweh.
That's dialect.
Right.
Yahweh.
Misinterpolation.
Prove it.
It's a dialect.
Come prove it.
We can go into the Akkadian script and show that easy. That's
come outside. All y'all gotta do is come outside.
Hey, hold on, y'all. Gun Sand Music. My DNA say the same thing, brother. That don't mean you are a descendant of Ramesses the second or the third. Because my DNA said that too. Unc broke that down for me a while ago, if you remember, Unc.
Yep.
Because I said, yo, Unc, look, they talking about Ramesses and I'm a descendant or something. What's that? Unc was like, nah, brother.
But you see that, sa.neter? That's to my point when I'm talking to these youngsters. When he asks you, are you a bloodline Israelite? You can't prove you no more a descendant from Ramses III because your DNA says that. Versus I can say I'm a descendant of Abraham. That's a crazy argument to make.
No,
but y'all get that argument. Hold on. But y'all get that argument from outdated. Can I finish speaking, bro? Can I finish speaking, bro? But y'all get these and I'm gonna teach these young boys something. Y'all get those arguments from outdated ISUPK arguments. Those are outdated ISUPK arguments that they have to hold to. So y'all arguing
listen, bro. I'm gonna tell you like this. The reason I asked you why I asked you is because A man's faith, I'm gonna go ahead and respect it because I can't really disprove your faith. Your faith is your faith. I can believe a whole lot of stuff. I can believe Cedrick can fly. That does not mean it's true or not. But there's people who believe that they are bloodline Israelites, and that's their claim. So before I made an ass out of you and me, I asked you the question.
Yeah, but those are those people, though. I wasn't even speaking directly to you about it.
So you were too. Let me respond. Saul was talking about a possible genetic link, and we understand how that comes about. It's layers of genetics, so they would put them in the same bracket. Now you equate that actuality with a factual person. You slip the Abraham in there as if there's any genetic evidence to support the factuality of Abraham. That flim-flam doesn't fly with the pseudo killers in the bomb squad up here. You can't do it.
Facts.
That's some
But see, this is why you sound stupid. But
It's my turn.
hold on.
It's my turn, y'all.
We can go to actual. We can go to actual. We can go to actual. I'm responding to Cedrick because he's speaking.
It's my turn.
We can go to actual. We can go to actual historical Israelites that we know existed.
You gotta stop, yo. You just bogart now.
No, I'm just saying we can go to Hezekiah.
Can you hear? Is you hearing?
Hezekiah never said he was an Israelite or a Hebrew. Never said that.
What is he talking about?
Hezekiah never said he was an Israelite or a Hebrew.
You believe?
Bro, you gonna die on that. Don't make that argument. Don't do that, bro.
You believe?
Don't do that, bro. You're gonna die.
There was a historical man by the name of Abraham that existed. Yes or no?
Indirectly, yes. I do believe that. Yes, I do believe that.
We're going to debate right there.
I said I'll take that debate indirectly. I can show indirect evidence. Yes.
Explain that to the bros. What you mean by indirect evidence?
There is anthropology, there's linguistics, and there's cultural evidence that suggests that a man named Abraham existed.
No,
so want to share some anthropology? Would you like to share some anthropology? Hold on, wait, Humble.
No.
Can he share some anthropology a little bit? What do you mean?
Beat up.
Stop.
Yeah, easy.
Stop. Everybody stop. You got to catch what he said.
They're gonna get beat up.
He said that there was
I'll beat you up right now, bro.
Yeah, there was a man named Jesus. There's a man named Paul. He's trying to
a man named Jesus.
Yes, it is a man named Jesus. I know somebody named Jesus right now. Out here in the street. What are you talking about? So he's trying to catch you on that. Now, the man that he's talking about the Abraham of the Bible.
Now, why your punk ass trying to help them, sa.neter?
See?
Oh, man, if you would have came up in here talking about anybody else, bro, you was going to embarrass yourself.
No, I wasn't. I promise you I wasn't. You don't know what I know, brother. You don't know what I know.
Because this anthropology point to the man of Abraham in the Bible.
And go more.
You said, does it point to it?
Do this anthropology or any of this stuff point to the man Abraham in the Bible?
Oh, yeah, it does. Yes.
No, it does not.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, it does not.
Do you want that debate?
That's a debate right there. Yeah.
You want that debate?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I said from the very beginning. I'll do the indirect evidence debate for it. There's plenty of it.
No.
And I'm gonna kick his ass.
You got an easy one. You got an easy one.
You come to the debate.
Hey, now he
you are going to present
now
your
let's see who runs,
sa.neter.
Let's see who runs, sa.neter. You know why? Because I'm the best at this shit. Watch when he runs.
You're going to get killed.
Yo, hold on. Everybody stop. Now I got to take control of the panel. We got the debate done. We got the topic done. Now it's one mic. Everybody, go ahead, Humble.
The debate topic: is Abraham a historical person?
Based on indirect evidence supported in the Bible. You can't tell me what I want to debate, you little punk. I'm telling you what I'm debating.
Calling people out their names, man.
Hey, shut up, because you will be next.
Man, get your bald head ass on.
Yo,
I got hair, bro. I got more hair. I got more hair than you ever
I
did.
like that nigga, man.
Yo, come on, y'all.
So again, let's agree on the debate topic. If you want Abraham to be the topic, I'll debate you with something on Abraham, but it's going to be an equitable debate. Stop coming up here, young boys, with these unequitable debates. I already agreed there is no direct evidence for Abraham, but that's not a direct. But there's no direct evidence for a lot of historical people that we know or people claim.
All right, hold on, Humble. Hold on, Humble. I'm calling on you when y'all raise your hand. All right, Arshay, go ahead, brother.
The debate is going to happen. Just take the debate. He's going to bring his indirect stuff. You're going to bring your direct stuff, bro. You know how this go, bro. We don't need to play no games with this man.
I agree.
He's trying to we already know what the real is. We got a great audience here at sa.neter Studios and the House of Contents, etc. And we know how to judge
you going
properly,
too far.
bro.
You going too far.
We're going to hold on. You be quiet, old man.
Hold on, man. One at a time. One mic.
Senile. He's senile.
Hey, don't call me out my name, you turtle-looking bastard.
I'm gonna do everything I want to do, boy. Like I said, he gonna take the debate, bro. And he's gonna be the first victim. So just take the debate. It's gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be over with for the brother. Let's just let it happen, bro. Let it happen. No, I'm not gonna stop smoking. Tell my ancestors to stop smoking.
Hey, what day are you good for, y'all? What day are you good for this debate?
Tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, man. Oh, you
Why
good?
not? He ready?
Humble, you good for tomorrow?
He ready?
Okay,
Who y'all think I am?
Well,
Who
tomorrow.
y'all think I am, bro? I'm not playing with him.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. What time is good? 6 o'clock.
No, man, I got something set up at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Yo, is it a game tomorrow? Is it a game on the football?
No, I got a thing set up. I would like to be involved with that. I mean, here.
All right, hold on, Apostle. Yo, is it a game on tomorrow? Football?
Yeah, it's a damn game. Yo, shit. The AFC and NFC championship.
Yeah, what time? Do y'all know?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably around 6 o'clock.
Okay, so if it's at 6 o'clock, let's go at 2 o'clock. Is y'all good for 2?
For 2 o'clock, yeah.
Are you good, y'all?
Yeah, I can do 2 o'clock. Now what's the topic again, right? Let's set the topic.
It'll be 1 o'clock your time, y'all, bro.
Yeah, now let's set the topic again, because y'all know y'all play games on here a lot when it comes to Israelites. Punks. I'm not talking to you young boys.
I'm gonna let sa.neter repeat the topic.
No, go ahead, repeat it. Humble. Repeat, because I want to make sure I get it right too.
Is Abraham a historical person?
What time is the NFL?
No,
game?
that's not the debate I agreed to. That's why I asked. That's not the debate I agreed to. The debate I agreed to is the one I say mentioned out of his mouth. Is there? Is there?
5 o'clock.
He's trying to load the debate. He's trying to put a loaded. He's trying to load the title.
I'm not trying to load the title. This is an equitable. I'm trying to establish.
I got the floor. I got the floor.
No. Hold on, Cedrick. Hold on, because it's the But anyway, Apostle saying there's 2 games on, so I might not be able to do that.
Okay,
today.
that's right. Does it start at 2? I thought it started later.
Football, man. Starts at 5.
That's true. That's true. So
it doesn't make sense, Apostle. You can't even count.
Yeah, so it got to be next week.
No, it got to
be.
Man, on a Monday or Tuesday.
I don't have the time. I don't have the time throughout the week. This week, it got to be next. It got to be on the weekend.
For tomorrow,
I can either only do it for tomorrow or the.
How about at 9 o'clock, Nogo?
Or the next weekend.
Yeah. What about?
Hey man, listen. Unlike y'all, my work day don't stop from 9 to 5.
What about 12 o'clock tomorrow? 12 o'clock.
I'm showing up.
So now it said 3:30 Eastern, 6:30 Eastern.
All right. What about 12 o'clock, y'all?
Yeah, 12 o'clock is fine.
9 o'clock right now. What about 9.5 an hour while y'all talking?
Yeah, 12 o'clock is fine.
No, we saying 9 o'clock right now. It's 8.
Hold on, stop, man. I'm trying to get this set, man. 12 o'clock tomorrow, the debate goes down.
And let's set the debate topic, because I just told the young bird what the debate topic that I'm going to debate.
All right,
so stop playing games with me, right?
Yeah, say
debate topic is there indirect evidence to prove that Abraham in the Bible was a real person?
No, because it could be indirect evidence.
Okay, then. So what's the argument? So what do you? Hold on, sa.neter.
This scary Negro out of here, man. He's scary, man.
Hold on, sa.neter. Man, bro. If the boy listen, if his argument is there is no evidence, then there is none, direct or indirect.
No, y'all wrong. Listen for a minute. The brother asked you, do you believe that Abraham existed? You said yes. So he said that's the debate, brother.
No, that's not the debate.
What?
That's not the debate. And if you don't, that's not the debate I'm having.
Wow.
Do y'all get that? I don't know what the hell is wrong with y'all.
What are you doing? We get it. What are
Scary
you
ass
doing? What are you doing?
Your grandmother's scary, nigga.
Yo, come on, man. Stop
Talking crazy to me, man.
All right, you too big for that. Come on, man.
Hey, I know I'm bigger than that. I don't need you to tell me that either. I keep telling y'all the debate I'm going to have. Now, if y'all can't get that, then we don't have to debate.
That's not a debate.
I'm not gonna lose no money. So I'm telling you what the debate is.
But y'all right. I ain't never see you like this.
I'm telling you what the debate is.
Man, been like this for a straight hour, yo.
I'm telling you what the debate is. Because I don't understand why they don't understand what I'm saying. I'm debating.
Man, you don't know. Yo, when you start saying indirect evidence, I thought I heard the man say it was somebody like, hey, Ram, see, indirect evidence. Man, you out your mind, man.
And you out your mind because you won't take the debate either. So
he don't believe no more. That's the truth.
At the end of the debate, I didn't say I did. I didn't.
No, hold on. I'm gonna let you go, Cedrick. You know what it is?
I didn't share my screen.
Hold on. You know what it is? Ashe is right, y'all. You don't believe no more, brother.
Yo, you
hey, hey, sa.neter. Hey, sa.neter.
Your faith is getting weak.
Hey, sa.neter, let me tell you something. Hey, sa.neter, let me tell you something.
Now let you tell
man.
me. But and that's all right, y'all. You growing. That's all it is. It's just so that you're growing, and this is where you getting ready to break off. That's it. And brother, we love you for that. We need you over here. Come on this side,
hey,
bro.
let me say this, sa.neter.
No, come on, Saul. Let me share my screen.
Let me say this, sa.neter. Y'all can kiss my ass.
See, he back on that. Come on, man. I ain't listening.
I'm telling you.
You telling grown men to kiss your. Come on.
I need to discontinue. Can I share my screen,
This is
Saul?
the problem,
man. Hold on.
He ran.
Hold on,
man.
No, he ain't run. Yeah, right. When you tell a man
over and over again,
or when you tell a man to kiss your butt, brother, that's suspect, man.
Over and over again.
Understand that, brother. That's a pause right there.
That's indirect evidence that he go that way.
Come on, bro. I'm never inviting another man to my privates, man.
Over and over again. Come on, Saul. Let me share my screen. Here you go. So let me go ahead and get Apostle out the way. Here go your Asiatics in Egypt. All right. There, have it right there, yo. Don't play. We got all the pictures. Okay. There you go. Now, let me show you the next picture. This will be your quote unquote.
What is that?
That's Israelites. No, not the Israelites. Your Asiatics in Egypt. Coming from that region.
How do I know what you showing me is the truth?
Don't worry about it. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. Here's the next one right here. This is the next one. This is for Chief X when he talked about Nubians and Egyptians don't share skin colors. Right here. This is what he showed before, right? This is Hugh. It's a tribute scene. You see the Nubians, you get different Nubian tribes. You see all the way to your right. All right. All the way to your right. You got this Nubian tribes that wear the feathers, right? Then you got the Nubian tribe right here. They look like they dressed up like Egyptians. But one crucial thing, they got on shoes. They got the fine shoes on. Remember, the Nubians made shoes and fine linen. Okay, these like royalty right here. Different tribes. So you can never say that these Nubians is enslaving these Nubians because none of them is really called Nubians. They different city-states, different clans, different tribes, right? But I want to take you to the Egyptians. That bottom register, these are Egyptians. They have similar range in skin color. Look, see the big figure? That's an Egyptian, right? See right to the left, to the right of that figure? That's an Egyptian. Look at the paint they wore off. Look at the dark brown. Right?
Why is he so big?
Because they're a royal figure. They want to show them bigger than everybody else. That's why they show.
They're not giants.
They're not giants. It's just they're bigger than everybody else. They're of importance. But the point here, when Chief X acts like that, they don't share skin color affinities. That's crazy. Okay, there you go. But I wanted to get you out the way with the quote unquote Asiatic picture and what they look like. They don't look like these guys.
Asiatics? What do you mean Asiatics?
The bottom row on the left.
Yeah, that's the
Egyptian. Who are these people?
That's the Egyptian, bottom left, right?
That's all Egyptians, right?
Different Asiatics.
These all Egyptians.
Those are all Egyptians.
Right. They won't look like them.
And those are the Yemenis up top, correct? Yeah. That's the Yemenis, right?
One mic, y'all. One mic.
Nubians. They got different Nubian tribes. See that? Look at the way they dress. Different. So everybody try to classify them together. That was racist.
Some of them might be Sunnis.
Yep. Especially these
Some of
right
them
here.
might
They
be
definitely in the back right here. Look at these. And all the way in the back. Look. But they got on the royal wig. They got on the Nubian wigs right here to the right. They got Nubian wigs.
But the Israelites will be the ones with the multicolors on.
No, ain't no Israelites in this picture right here, bro. Stop.
Oh, man, you sure? Are you sure?
Let me take this out.
Are you sure? You don't even know what you're looking at.
Man, stop.
No, that would be the kingdom of Yam right there. That's the kingdom of Yam in that image.
Oh, Yam. Yeah, Nubians though, right?
Yeah, still Nubians, no doubt. Still Nubians, no doubt.
No, you gave them the real name. They good work. Absolutely. Yep. You're right.
Appreciate you guys.
Hey, hold on, man. Let me let you know, Humble, I got a brother in here that don't run from nobody. And that's why he go by the name of War Child.
War Child. Look at
War Child.
And he is a Hebrew Israelite. That's probably why he jumped up in here. I don't know if he accept your challenge or not, but you can get ahead and ask him a couple of questions, brother, because he's a debater. So ask the brother. Humble, it's on you.
I'm here. Oh, hey, brother, do you believe that Abraham was a historical person?
You asking me, or you said Unc?
Oh, yeah.
asking you.
All right. Do I believe that? No, see, I'm not I'm saying I believe that there are parabolic ancestors and parabolic, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe in.
Get him out of here, son.
Here's the thing. Hold on. You ain't no get me out of here. I just came up here. You got finished flapping your baby, sounding like you ain't even freaking go through puberty. I don't debate in this, bro. You don't got no face in this.
Hey, get him out of here. He don't want to debate. He disrespectful.
Yo, everybody stop. Let's give him a chance. Calm down. No disrespecting nothing. Let's give him a chance.
Come on here. Don't talk about no get me out of here, B. I got more work under my belt than you do.
Come on, let's be
some respect, B. Come on, B. We brothers, man.
Go ahead, get it, Humble. Ask him more questions.
Okay. Do you believe
Exodus?
Are you of the belief?
It doesn't matter what I believe.
Listen, are you?
It doesn't matter what I believe.
Hold on, Zion. You gotta let him ask you, brother.
Calm down, Warlow. Calm down, man.
Are you of the belief that the Israelites emerged out of Canaan, or they always been their own people?
No, I agree with my brother. I'll say it. What was his name? God. Yeah, I agree with that there was Canaanite. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You brought out the whole thing. You don't remember I freaking commended the brother on his work?
Was Joseph a real person historically?
Bro, you asking me retarded questions. I'm a Rastafari Israelite. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I'm an Ethiopian Israelite. He over here trying to freaking control narratives. You don't know me. You don't know my beliefs.
Okay. So you believe in Solomon and Miniman,
and you get a little bass in your voice, then you can talk that shit to me, bro. Excuse my language.
No profanity, man. No profanity. Come on.
Hey, listen.
I apologize. You over here having
go get Pit. I probably gotta go get Pit Bull, huh?
So, I came in here actually to say a couple of things. Just do that here. I'd rather debate. I would rather debate Ashe. Ashe is a goddamn formidable debater. Ashe got skills. This dude is the weakest link in the whole team.
All right. Come on. What you wanted to say? Oh, watch out. You came in to say
this. When it comes to, you know what I'm saying, y'all know I'm in the legal field, right? So when it comes to what they call indirect evidence, which is specifically it's not direct evidence. You can still build a case with indirect evidence. You know what I'm saying? It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence will still get you a freaking 25 to life charge if they can pull off. You don't have to have the body or the weapon.
Right.
Okay. So this is why I'm saying, this is why I came up here. Like, let's not do these fallacy arguments. Oh, you don't got no direct evidence. Or, you know what I'm saying? And when you do deal with everything doesn't have to be primary sources. There are persuasive authorities. And that's when you so that's all I came up here to say. Now, I'm not an inerrancy Bible thumper. I do believe I'm more cultural, you know what I'm saying? From my Ethiopian, you know what I'm saying, Rastafari, you know what I'm saying? I can argue that, but when it comes to objective art, never the two shall twain. So you don't have one of, you know, and then this last thing, you can't pigeonhole all Israelites to one West doctrine. One West is a whole.
That's not.
That's like
Hold on, brother.
that's
Hold
like
on.
trying to force Pentecostal to agree.
Warlord, hold on for me, brother. Hold on. That's not what nobody's doing up here. We pinning y'all to the Bible. If you are an Israelite and you go by the Bible, that's why we asking you the question by the Bible, not by ISBK.
He tried to force Yarad to agree to a 12-tribe chart doctrine. All of North African Americans, that's one West.
Do you agree? Do you believe in the 12 tribes?
According to the Bible, 12 tribes, I believe that all of our knowledge of those tribes are not there anymore. The Bible even says that folks would forget who they were. So if you want to go from the subjective, faith-based, the Bible says that we wouldn't know. And then if you want to go through science or whatever, nobody knows what tribe they are. People have been spread all across the world.
Okay, then so that means y'all don't know who y'all are. That means y'all don't know what tribe you are.
Half of us don't, and that's why we have an identity crisis.
Yeah, that means Apostle don't know who he is. He's just claiming it. Right.
Yeah.
He just claiming to be that. The Bible said Apostle wouldn't know.
I would never say Native Americans are this and North African Americans are Judah. I would never say. I think that is the most absurd thing to ever say. And even the original cats of One West, one of the original dudes that was there with Abba Bivens and them, you know what I'm saying, said that they made that up.
All right. Let me bring on Cedrick. Cedrick, what you want to say? This, come on, brother.
I just want to address that that fallacious claim when you're trying to equate indirect evidence, circumstantial evidence in terms of a legal matter versus that within academic setting. What Yara is attempting to do is load the question, right? And that's a fallacious form of debating, right? At the end of the day, if the claim is, do you believe, right? And why do you believe? You are going to present your evidence. And if your evidence happens to be circumstantial, then it would have to quantify within the archaeological format to be circumstantial. There is no need to load the question within the debate title. Why is that relevant? Because now you're going to have the debate and all your evidence, circumstantial or not, correct or not, is going to be circumstantial. That automatically wins you the debate because you presented what you feel to be circumstantial evidence. No, that's not how you debate. You believe this, and during the debate, you're going to present your evidence. If your evidence is circumstantial or indirect, it will still need to quantify in establishing whether this individual actually lived, right? So to load the debate title with that addendum, indirect evidence, is an attempt to run away from what you have to prove. It is loading the debate title, right? And that's what these this is what these pseudos have been doing for so long. And now you have a different generation, myself and the Bomb Squad, for example, that doesn't fly. You are not going to preload the debate title and argue as if, right, your circumstantial evidence has already been established. That's nonsense.
Well, you're arguing with Yara on that. You're arguing with Yara on that. And listen, Cedrick, even people try to bring up the whole argument. Anquest has to literally slap people upside their head all the time about daggone Darwin. You know what I'm saying? Because Darwin did not have direct evidence. He had a string of circumstantial situations that we later on, because he didn't have DNA. Hold on. You got to finish talking. This is your show, and I respect you. I love you, my brother. But that when you say that there is no place in academia for circumstantial evidence, that is fallacious. When we even looked at evolution, they didn't have all the bones. They sat there and said, there's a missing link. Did that actually take the validity away from evolution? No. So don't do that. Don't do that. But now you're burden shifting.
So
now that's called burden shifting, bro. You know I'm all about this. You know I'm all about legal argumentation.
Fallacious argumentation. Again,
that is not fallacious.
You're doing a category error.
I guess we're gonna have to get back in the ring, though.
Let me have the floor. I'll listen to you.
One mic. Yeah, I'm Zion.
First of all, when you're making a category error, you're taking a word and applying it in the same contextual manner within two different categories. I never said within science you do not have that indirect evidence. Indirect evidence is a hard footprint, right? I don't need to see the actual human being, but that indirect evidence has been established already what that actually means, right? So again, two different concepts. Two different concepts within legal framework. It has one meaning, and within the academia, it has a different meaning. That
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Objection foundation.
Right. One mic, Yara.
And so don't say I am not conflating the two. They are two distinct. I never said within the realm of science we don't have indirect evidence. Carbon dating, all of these things are what you quote unquote consider indirect evidence. As to Darwin, he had direct evidence of natural selection. He described natural selection by the evidence he observed. What he didn't have is evidence of human evolution. And for that, he indicated his prediction. And the fact that he made a scientific prediction, which later came to fruition, is the reason his hypothesis and his whole and all his findings was solidified in the theory of natural selection. Right? His prediction. If my hypothesis is correct, if my observations are correct, if my explanation for the evidence I have is correct, we are going to find this in the future. That prediction is what solidified his hypothesis into a scientific theory. So he had direct evidence and he made a prediction.
So Zion, can I ask you a question, Zion? Yes, so would you say what you just heard? Would you just hold on? Would you say you just heard from Cedrick that he just agreed that the absence of evidence is not proof? This is what I mean.
He just literally doubled back and substantiated what I came in here and said.
Substantiated exactly what you just said. And you're the only one that understood my argument with indirect evidence, because you and I both
arrogance. Yes, he did that.
Exactly. I have 20 years in the legal field, so I argue from a legal standpoint.
So a scientific prediction equals absence of evidence. That's what y'all saying. A scientific prediction.
We're not talking about science
of evidence.
So we're not talking about science. We're talking about in academia
because of the absence of evidence.
No, we're talking about academia.
Where's the prediction?
We're talking. The prediction was he didn't have the evidence. You said
there's a prediction, and that
right. What is the prediction?
Is made based on the evidence that you have. So
he didn't have the evidence. He didn't have. You said he didn't have the
evidence.
You said he didn't have evidence of human evolution.
Listen,
right?
Bro, you don't know what you're talking about.
If he didn't have evidence of human evolution, then that prediction is based on
the evidence.
Absence of evidence
is your prediction.
Hey, bro.
Your prediction is to establish and confirm your hypothesis. Based on the evidence I have, this is the explanation. If this explanation is correct, we should find X, Y, and Z. Bro, don't argue this nonsense. You sound stupid at this point.
No, you sound stupid because you just agreed that if he doesn't have the evidence, the only thing that he can do is make a prediction based on what he has. So at that point, he has no evidence.
Is that what I said? You are ignorant, slow, and dumb.
He has no evidence. So the only listen.
Yo, Cedrick, you gotta stop cutting them off too.
Right. All I'm saying
is what you understood.
So all I'm saying,
hold it down, Apostle.
Okay.
All I'm saying is when you say Cedrick,
will you allow me to speak, Apostle?
Right after Yara.
Okay.
You can go.
So all I'm saying is that Cedrick, when you say that direct evidence holds no weight in academia,
That is a lie. I dare anyone on this panel, every person on this panel, to search indirect evidence in regards to scholarship and academia and see what you obtain. It is a valid proof.
Is this
When
man
you're dealing
retarded?
with,
Hold on, Cedric.
it is
Rob,
it,
who for next?
yeah, it's a valid argument that many historians and academics use. And they hold to the coin that the absence of evidence is not proof. And we found that long ago in many newer excavations. They just found Ramses II's tomb.
Right.
So we
And
can
that's
go
indirect or direct evidence.
Real quick, man.
but that's direct.
Again, this man, you do
Now
not need
is
to
direct
lie.
evidence.
When I
Now
just
is direct
when I
evidence
just
that they
said,
now found the proof.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. The absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Yes,
One
sir.
mic. One mic. Go ahead, Rob.
All right, I wanted to ask Zion Warchild and Yara. It says the consensus of biblical scholars say the Exodus never took place. The short answer is that statement is broadly accurate with important nuance. What the mainstream scholars' consensus say. Most biblical historians, archaeologists, and Egyptologists agree that there is no evidence for a large-scale literal exodus as described in the Hebrew Bible. Hundreds of thousands of Israelites leaving Egypt at once.
One mic.
Can you mute up, Sed? Because I can't hear him. Somebody's talking. Their mic is on.
Y'all right? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
you.
Okay. I don't know who
that is. Said you got to mute up because I can't hear you, brother.
Mute your mic. I don't want to mute your mic. Mute it.
All right, and so hundreds of thousands of Israelites leaving Egypt at once. So they're saying that the majority of the scholars are saying that it didn't take place, both Egyptologists and biblical scholars. But my question to y'all, to Yara and Warchild is this: is the consensus also said, and even Apostle could help me here. The consensus is also saying that some Hebrew scholars are saying Ethiopia is not the Ethiopia in the Bible of the four rivers, that's a place in Asia called Kushi Ethiopia. Kushi in Asia, nothing to do with the African Ethiopia. What do you feel about that, Warchild, being a Rastafari?
Yeah, I would object to that, you know what I'm saying? But because actually the maps actually show, you know what I'm saying, what do you call it? Kush and also Saba, Sheba, right? The empire's maps all extend into the northern area of what we consider modern day Ethiopia. It's still a part of the Nile Valley. We know that transmigration, you know what I'm saying, of people started from the base of the Blue Nile all the way up into Egypt, you know what I'm saying, Nubia, etc. And then, you know what I'm saying, flowed out towards, Middle East into Eurasia. We know how that goes, you know what I'm saying, over thousands and thousands of years ago, you know what I'm saying, with the back migrations of those mutation genes, the Eurasian genes. That is all freaking, I would say that somebody who says that now with the Exodus, I would say that there are scholars, and I have some scholars here already lined up earlier when I was doing my own little research as I was listening, you know what I'm saying? And there are scholars, not the consensus though, not the majority, you know what I'm saying? However, there are scholars who argue that the Exodus happened in some form, not, with splitting the Red Sea and all the, you know what I'm saying, the mythological, fantastic stories that every culture attaches to their history, right?
Yeah,
if you watch Kung Fu movies,
Zion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a short answer. I get it.
That was good?
Yeah, perfect. But only last thing with you is this. It says the geographic problem. If Gihon were in Africa, Eden would span thousands of miles, which ancient Hebrew cosmology does not support. Many Jewish commentators conclude Cush must be Near Eastern, not Africa.
All right, so
it doesn't really matter because none of those rivers were actually in the garden. It said that the river that was in the garden that flowed from the garden flowed out into a head which divided into 4 rivers.
Facts.
So that it divided outside the garden,
in the
not
order,
in the garden.
Right. Impossible. The order is in. It's showing more so like it would be Uganda, Nyanza, Nwanza, which they call Lake Victoria. Dr. Ben checked us and taught us that name is Nyanza, Nwanza, not Lake
Victoria.
Just
Gihon. It's not just Gihon, though.
Can I add something? I'm not going to be long.
And two of the rivers has been dried up. They don't know the location.
All right, so when I add something, I'm not going to be long. How come when you biblical believers talk, y'all talk as if these things are real? But then when people challenge y'all on the validity of these things, y'all start to dance around the questions.
I can answer that.
Like how y'all was just sitting up here talking about the Garden of Eden as if it's a real place. Now, if I challenge one of y'all on a debate on if Garden of Eden was a real place, which one of y'all would accept that debate?
Now, first and foremost, you'll be talking to Apostle because I never made the assertion that the Garden of Eden was a real place. So you're saying y'all like you're trying to push all of us together when we all have differing positions, and that would be disingenuous and totally dishonest. And that's why you're the weakest link in the group, because I know Ashe would have never came out of his face and said that.
I know.
You are.
I'm sitting here.
Let me say this. There's a difference in me talking about what the Bible say.
Right.
And what I actually believe.
Right. So if I
hold on, wait, hold on. Apostle.
Humble.
Are you doing that?
Stop. Humble. I'm saying according to the narrative of the Bible.
So you don't believe in the biblical narrative?
I don't believe that the Bible is 100% inherent and accurate. I don't think
Would you like to share some things that you don't believe, Apostle? Hold on, wait, Humble. Hold on, Humble.
There's a lot of things that I don't believe. I don't believe in the virgin birth.
That's not new on this panel.
I don't
No, it
believe
doesn't.
in
He's
the
always
virgin
said
birth.
that.
He don't believe that the Bible is 100% accurate. How are you a Hebrew Israelite sitting on this panel saying
the
that?
Bible itself says that we know in part and we prophesy in part.
Right. The
It
Bible
actually
says
says
that, bro.
that
Like,
it
what
literally
are you
says
arguing?
that even the prophets,
word of God.
even the
And now you're saying that
every
the
time
word
you
of
yell,
God is
your
not
voice
accurate?
goes higher than it already is.
So tight. Hold tight, sir. These guys, you're going to have to get control of them. Because these guys now thinking they can just jump in, yelling, doing whatever they want. There's a quorum on this floor.
Right.
And I'm not talking to Ashe right now, but I am talking to Humble.
All right, but hold on, Apostle.
He has to obey the quorum as well.
All right, but hold on. Apostle, I got to keep it real. Humble is 100% correct.
In what? I don't care if he's correct.
Let me finish, brother. Let's be quiet for a minute.
He's wrong in the way he gets.
He's not wrong. Number one, I'm going to say this, brother. Either you believe in the Bible or you don't. And if you have any doubt in any of the goddamn Bible, then you're not a true believer in the Most High God.
And that's not goddamn true either.
That is true.
No, it's not, sa.neter. I keep telling you that.
That is not
The Bible.
Watch this.
I believe in 100% of the original scripture.
All right, watch this.
I believe in the translation. No.
Watch this.
I can read different translations.
I don't care what you say. I don't
things.
Then listen.
They all be right.
Listen. Stop reading the Bible to our people if it's not 100% correct.
I'm not going to stop reading nothing to the people.
All right, hold on, man. I'm talking, brother.
And I'm talking. I'm still going to teach what I believe to be true. And if I don't believe it, don't be.
All right. I need you to be quiet. I need you to be quiet now. I'm calling the captain.
What the fuck does that mean?
All right, yo, Captain, I got you on the line. Y'all right. Real quick. I know that was Yara cursing. That was Yara. He mad. Let me ask you a question, Captain.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the whole book from Genesis to Revelations? Yes or no?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Do you have any disagreement in any of the books?
No. No.
Apostle said he believes some of it and he don't believe all of it. And
I do not believe in 100% accuracy of the Bible.
All right, he don't believe 100% accuracy of the Bible. What does Apostle? I need you to be quiet. I got Zoriak on the line. So what does that mean when you hear a brother say something like that? Because the young brother is right. He killing the Apostle right now.
If when it comes to God's word, if you believe the Bible is God's word, then that's just what it is. Ain't no, I believe in some of it. I don't believe in this part of it. At best, the only argument that anybody can make is if, like they say in the English, it means this, so I got to get it in Hebrew or Greek.
Right.
But outside of a language barrier or translation, Genesis to Revelations is the word of God. That's it. You either get with it or get the fuck on. That's what you do.
There you go.
You can't straddle the fence. This ain't the Quran. This ain't the Book of the Dead. This ain't 5% Nation. This ain't none of that. This is you either in it or you're not.
Can I say something real fast while you got him on the thing?
Go ahead.
Hey, brother Cap, I don't know where sa.neter getting these flim Hebrew Israelites, brother. From, bro. You gotta teach these brothers something, bro, because they getting it wrong over. They making y'all look bad, Tazariak.
He said, I don't know where he get them
I'm not going west.
From. That's crazy. But always remember this, young brother. Everybody that say they Israel ain't Israelite. Just always remember that.
Mm-hmm. Facts. That's facts. Hey, Cap, I ain't gonna bother you no more tonight, man.
All right, no sweat. All right, no sweat.
See, and that's what I'm talking about. Either you believe it or you don't. Now, if you would have asked him about Abraham, he would have said, yes, I believe Abraham. If you would have asked him about Exodus, he would have said, yes, I believe the Exodus happened. Anything about that Bible, Captain is going to tell you, yes, I believe it happened. See, these dudes are scared of the bomb. They've been watching the bomb squad now. And they scared. Y'all getting scared. When Black Sage start cursing and all that, that's when you know you got him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got him now.
Yeah.
He wants you to argument with him. He wants you to go back and forth and argue with him.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a fact.
They didn't want to do no scholarship. They didn't want to do that scholarship for real.
Yeah. Hey, let me say this real quick. First of all,
here you go.
First of all, let me say this. First of all, you keep calling Captain, and these niggas big up in him. And shout out to Captain, no hate. But this the same nigga that just did a whole interview with Queen Flip saying he hate Africans. What the hell is you calling him for?
Yo, I'm gonna take your power from you, Apostle.
What the hell is you calling him for?
Playing games, nigga.
Non sequitur.
What is you calling him? He say he hate Africans.
Not nonsense.
But you calling him like he's
to divide and conquer, bro. You such a 48
you in the Bible?
Willie Lynch Negro style.
The Bible don't teach you to hate Africans.
Oh, hold on. But
you keep calling his nigga like he the authority on the scripture. He's wrong.
The same guy wears the jacket.
We can take you to any biblical scholar that holds their weight in salt and tell you that even certain chapters, even in the New Testament, when it says
told you the same thing.
When it talks about he who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. That's not in the original text. Why would we believe it?
Yeah.
Where's the jacket?
Why do we got to hold to it? See, you talking about real biblical scholars, bro, versus people.
Yo, we got one out of here. Apostle ran.
Hey, I can't hear you. I gotta go.
Hey, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real, son. He ain't got, even with his little indirect evidence, they ain't got nothing, bro. I can tell you what he was gonna show. I can already tell you. He was gonna try to show like the tomb of the patriarchs, which God energy kind of already destroyed. Every little hint that maybe exists. He was gonna show stuff like pottery, tombs that don't got the people we seeing in it. Yeah, I mean, like he was gonna embarrass himself, bro. If you not finna show no DNA evidence of this man, his children, anybody writing to this man directly, manuscript, you ain't got nothing. He ain't got nothing, bro.
The name Abraham being used in the 7th century BCE and try to tie it to him being the man Abraham in the second millennium.
Who told
worse than the dudes with the House of David stuff,
bro?
Who told you I was going to do that? See, this is what I'm saying. You a child with the evidence, bro. You a child with this argument. That is never an argument I would use. You don't even understand indirect evidence.
Right.
Come with your indirect evidence and get killed. Get unalive.
Hold on.
And that's the argument.
Everybody hold on for a minute. We got to go across
out of your shell, out of your turtle shell.
No, hold on, brother. Hold on. Watch out. Everybody calm down. We got to go across the street to the debate coliseum. As soon as y'all get in there, the link is right there in the chat. The link is in the chat right here. Click on the link. It's going to bring you right up. Click on the link. It's going to bring you right up in the chat. So we are live over there right now. We are live. And come on over. Cross the street if you're not afraid. The Coliseum is on and popping. Peace. We out. Peace, Cedrick.